have spells, of course, it's fine.
Welcome to the Salty Dragon Tavern, everyone.
Oh! We actually can't
Yes, me and my two friends
Yes,
right here.
you cannot see Alice, so we're going to move some cameras around. You're not even in the centre of the actual table itself.
It's fine, you don't need to see Rory.
Move over a little bit.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
We have a... I'm currently
Do
wearing...
you remember this moment? I poop a little.
Yes, I turned into a cow to try and get cows to move, and you know, portraits of words, cows are female, bulls are male, so a bull got a bit amorous towards Rowan, and so he pooped a bit in response.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I immortalized the moment on the back of my sheets.
Oh god. We need to get you a proper notebook so it doesn't end up there.
I mean, I have a proper notebook.
Well, then.
There are sketches in here too.
Okay, good.
Look, see?
That was a... Oh, pardon me.
Excuse you.
That was a good one.
Like, I remember moments way better with pictures. And this moment,
Oh, Rowan.
What was that one?
He was tied
Squirrel?
to a rope
Yolan.
and like swung around.
Oh, okay. It looks like a beehive on his head or something.
oh no, that's his tail. Fish tail. And see that one? That's Rayleigh on the water.
I should scan your notes. Your notes look really good.
That was Matt, the dungeon. Not dungeon. Dwarven place.
Yeah.
Kind of dungeon.
It was
Very poor map.
it was a hard time trying to properly draw a map of that
Oh
place.
yeah, that's the tattoo Ember has marked on her arm.
Oh yeah, of
The
course.
Moradin one. That one there.
Moradin was all like, "Hey girl," tattoo.
I mean, like, as if Amber needed to be more badass. I love that.
Okay, so Tim,
And then there's my stress drawing. I remember clearly what that was.
prison.
Which time?
No, this was the Death of Yoland episode.
Oh, that's the death of
This is
Yolan
the Death of
episode.
Yoland episode. That is my stress drawing.
Do you recall what we discussed on Monday?
Yes, I do. I do actually have that in my head.
Yes.
I've got a write up. Can you print those notes on the characters that I've given you so that I actually have them to refer to if I hear the names?
We won't worry about it at this particular
Yeah, I know,
stage.
not at this point, but just at some point.
Mm.
Right.
This session's gonna get
Interesting.
So,
Yes.
what do I need to check on this to make sure
At this present moment in time, it's mostly right. So it's
this is
right.
why I have whole person
It's-
prepared.
It's right. Okay.
Really sad.
For those, actually, for those who are watching, I have just recently, and I've just got them all to update their characters. The only one I don't have is Amir, but I do not have Amir tonight again. So that's now the third week in a row which we don't have Amir because he's busy doing photography for a wedding, which I think is the one you saw before.
The only other time someone has been this absent, it was me,
Mm.
and I was in the UK for 3 weeks.
Yes, it. So other than Amir not existing on the thing, if you scroll to the left of the Twitch window itself, so this is not going to appear on YouTube at all, but if you scroll to the left of the Twitch window, you will see that D&D Beyond overlay is now implemented, and you can actually have a look at the characters, stats. And
Can we put custom portraits?
yes, you can.
Upload this picture for me!
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes!
I mean, it'll have to be for next week. but-
That's fine. It'll be
One
perfect.
of the reasons why you claim your own character is because then you can do most of the updates and stuff like that, which includes the images and so on and so forth. I've just put placeholders in for the time being, so they weren't sort of offbeat, blank. Yeah.
I think I was assigned a random piece of artwork just based on my...
Well, the only one that I managed to
Close.
get even remote close, I think, was yours because I knew you were blonde and blue-eyed, so I went, oh, that's probably the
Yep,
closest
that'll
I'm going to
do.
get.
Yeah.
That'll
I'm
do.
sorry, why do I pay
I
my
changed
Twitch Prime
Amber's
again?
one.
Is it so I can add to my Twitch?
Not
Is that how it works?
stealth.
Sorry?
I said,
Close enough.
I paid for Twitch Prime and that's why I can add to
Hello,
my
thank
Twitch.
you.
Yeah, because you get them for Twitch Prime.
Oh, bandage on my-
Twitch Prime is essentially not a it's not really a pure subscription to Twitch, but I don't know how it works.
I am this time.
We've got apparently got 6 people in chat, so if you're actually listening into the chat, can you just make sure that we've got the audio going? Because I've had a bit of a play around with some of the audio,
Hi.
so I'm not sure how people are going to be heard.
Yes, if you go down to the thing on the center bottom of the screen that says B, back on Twitch, and you click on that.
So someone who
shows
just
pop-up
followed
of
us
that
is
little
not
account.
How's that work?
Ooh.
It depends on if they've got
I can probably get rid of
Twitch
this.
Prime and they've got to
chat now.
subscribe every.
Yeah.
No, like it doesn't say the reviewer, the person who just followed.
Or I can change the information in it.
Our friend,
Yeah.
Mike.
So one of the ideas behind all this is that once we get used to it, like probably not tonight, I'm not overly fussed about it tonight, but if you like take damage and so on and so forth, you update the D&D Beyond with the damage you take and the heals and all that type of stuff. So the how much damage you've taken is actually referenced in the overlay, so that anyone who's coming along can see how badly hurt you are and so on and so forth, or any other conditions.
Audio
you might have.
on iPhone is
Does it work on? Does D&D Beyond work on phones?
It does
In
to a certain
You're
degree.
getting thumbs up on iPhone and tablet.
Excellent. It's more about you guys. Usually I'm okay. It's just the rest of you guys are not.
What?
You can get.
Audio.
You can bring your mic in nice and close and.
I can bring my nose and mic. You guys are usually okay because your mics are in good positions in reference to you as people. It's these guys who are less because they're just a bit too far away.
Yeah. They're a bit high.
I'm not high.
Professional phones are a bit high, honestly.
What have we been feeding them? They're high.
Green rope.
All right. One of the things I'm going to be trying to do in this particular channel is start the announcements earlier, so we actually try and start the game at 6:30.
I did not take intimidation.
Sorry, I just put some things down because I wasn't 100%
Do
sure.
you have my actual character sheet? So
I do have your actual character sheet, yes.
Make sure that everything is.
Boris.
Because
Just so you
My-
know as well.
health, I don't think health.
Can you guys pass these around?
I don't know why my athletics is +7.
What makes you think?
Athletics will be based off your
Strength.
What makes you think
strength
mine is
plus
difficult
4
to
plus
understand?
your
Because
Oh,
I use
what's
a
the
lot
word?
of pages.
words.
Like I have. Like,
I mean, I do have intimidation
just, like,
as
scribble down lots
a proficiency.
Well,
I'm just
no,
trying to remember where
whereas I have like
I
full
think you got it
blocks of
from
spells.
your background,
All these
but I
pages
could
of
be
But
wrong.
spells I can
have
Okay.
you know the second page you can put up the spells and shit on. You didn't have that. So
As I said, they're not 100%
And
right
all
at this
this
stage, so
just
don't
for the
stress
mobile
about it too
shit.
much. Just still go off what's on your actual sheet for the time being until we fix them properly.
My ability score
I just-
improvement
I
was
used
in
an app.
fact
And
strength,
all
so
this
I'm
for
going to change that now.
Sorry, say that?
Spiritual rules.
My ability score improvement was strength, so I'm updating that now.
I've done all your updates, so
You had it as constitution instead of strength.
don't change it yet.
Right?
You're going to screw up everything if you do.
Oh,
But I just did.
it's been.
Now you're going to have high strength and low con.
Yeah, but then you should have waited to do this.
It doesn't matter which way it's done. As
Because
long
I
as the
also
numbers.
have a natural constitution, a high constitution.
Yes, I know this.
Both my strength and constitution 18.
that's useful.
Yes, which all the numbers were matching up, irrelevant of which was picked. Now they're not. Now you're
No,
going
I
to have.
fixed it. It's literally a drop down box. It took 2 seconds to
So
do
much
that.
stuff here.
My health
My
is
backstory.
actually not 71.
This 71's based off the average that we've been using
But I've got an extra 6 because of my
from the belt. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not 100% sure it's kicking in the belt properly.
You need to make sure that it's marked as tuned in.
It is. It's attuned on her. That's why she's now got the 18 con.
Okay, that's weird then.
Is my strength also 18?
According to your character sheet, yes.
I can manually add 6 health.
I think you can, but just double check.
There we go. I just
Yeah.
attuned my Stone of Luck and it's popped up with the proper.
Ah, I forgot to attune, did I?
Yeah.
That was what I
That's
forgot
what
to
it
do.
was. And I'll attune my.
Another stone of luck.
It gives a +1 modifier to all skill checks and saving throws.
You should have taken the cloak of billowing.
When I saw it, when I was putting Valen together, I'm just going, Cloak Billowing, yep.
I was tossing up between that and the the thing of many fashions.
Yeah.
Many
Yep.
I don't have to do anything anymore.
Kick open the door.
Get it back off him!
Cloaks just flying in the imaginary breeze as he pose.
That's true.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be it.
My ring of evasion, my ring of water walking.
I believe Chris.
No, it's got both of
Right,
it.
yeah, both of them.
Fuck off.
Language. Oh,
Yes,
that's
it's
right. We're
good.
streaming. So.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say Jesus on streams.
Okay. Quickly, just go get yourself some food, mate, and eat it quickly out in the kitchen.
There are a lot of sausage rolls.
I have no idea where he's disappeared. He's probably gone for a smoke somewhere.
Okay, so that's
He's here.
that's tune.
Yeah.
What is my background?
That's why I did the rules.
It's about as loud as it's gone at the moment. Someone do
Guild artisan? Oh, apparently I'm a guild artisan.
Perhaps. There's a whole heap of stuff that like putting Rayleigh together. He missed a whole skill. He's been missing a whole proficiency in the skill. That's the word, proficiency. We're probably going to be a little bit late tonight because a lot of people just turned up late and I cooked dinner a bit later than I expected. I thought I actually had it all on time. Oh, it was like 10 to 6 before I sat down and started eating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like,
It's only a light.
it took a lot longer than I expected. Yeah.
And I can speak giant, not. That's okay.
I just picked some of the things that I didn't know. They're not hard to change.
I've learned a new foreign title on D&D Beyond.
Which is?
We'll find out. But
Everyone gets
it was
adventure.
an item that makes sense for my.
What have I done for this?
Considering what they are.
So, what time is it actually? Oh, it is 6:25.
6:25.
How is it going, everyone and all? I'm rather pleased to be playing because I'm sure Rowan's going to have all manner of emotional breakdowns. So that's going to be a good.
Apologise to anyone. Brace yourselves. Get yourselves a warm cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is that sort of helps you. Get your dog or your cat, put them in your lap.
Oh yeah!
Pat
Oh
them.
my god! No.
This is going to be a very deep
Blankets.
episode. An aftermath of everything that's happened in the last few episodes, including the death of one of the characters here, plus all of the shenanigans and the bad luck and good luck at the same time that happened.
Tim, I would like to request a certain degree of creative license when it comes to my cat Frostbite for dramatic and emotionally stressful events.
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that's an issue.
Oh, physical characteristics. Let's have fun.
Was that? What was that?
Physical characteristics.
Yes, I haven't done any of that. Yeah.
I already put in all my stuff. Age 263. Height 5'8". Weight 150 pounds.
So it's kind of skinny.
And his eyes, skin, and hair are all just shaded brown. That's something that. I'm trying to figure out.
All right. Thank you all for coming along for our episode tonight. I'm going to go through a few things to get us going. First thing first, of course, we are LARPers, but a lot of our LARP in this current climate has been a bit quiet. So we probably won't be having any LARPs until the end of September, start of October, which will then, as we've said before, we're going to have 3 all at once. So I might actually be able to even turn up to one of them now because of things that have happened, but we'll see. So yes, we have Soulcraft Blood and Gold coming up. We have Exodus and their week-long event coming up. And of course, Dan here from Chimera Productions also have their weekend happening as well. These are all happening on the AFL weekend of all the places to do it.
Well, Blood and Gold's technically happening the week after.
Well, technically it's
which is
happening the
perfect,
week after, yes.
Because it starts the day after the grand final, which means I can come to the entire thing because there's no public holidays related to it.
And then after that, there is essentially no more LARPs for the year, if I'm not mistaken. What else is there?
I don't know if
Well, sorry, let me phrase that. There's no more LARPs that I know of currently because they haven't been updated.
there is a LARP that has popped up suddenly. I feel like they would be okay with it being I'm not sure. I will inquire with the relevant parties.
I need more information about what's going on with their dates and so on and so forth to make it sort of official.
I'll ask them if they're okay with it being brought up on stream, and if so, I will mention it next week.
Actually, sorry, I lied. There is actually one small LARP coming up, which is PAX Europa.
Oh yeah.
So if you are in Melbourne and interested in a small LARP, which is very costume orientated and very steampunky Victorian. I think it's more Victorian. Yeah. Pax Europa. They're doing their thing. They've got all their tickets at the minimum sold, so they are going ahead. But I know there's more tickets to add to that if you want to go in that particular area.
Sorry, I have more costume.
Yeah. Pax Europa, steampunk LARP.
If I had more costumes.
Some of the stats.
It is very costuming, yes.
To be fair, I probably have.
As long as the numbers in
like,
the
all of
end
the
equal your character, that's all that
required for
mattered.
that.
Doesn't actually change the way that they're set up. Like if I picked the wrong ups on your 4th level as an example, or in your case as a human, because I don't know if you were variant or if you were
I
normal.
was straight, just normal plus.
I didn't know. It didn't look like you were.
Posted in after you
Yeah.
asked.
Remember how we said that 9 was going to be your lowest stat?
Hmm.
Why when you have +1s do you still have a 9?
It was an 8.
Ah, was it?
It was an 8 that went up to 9.
All right. Okay, that's where I got confused.
Yeah, it was an 8 that went up to 9 when I.
Because I haven't chosen your other feat either. So for now, don't worry about it too much. But we'll fix it up during a week.
Sorry, there's some good feedback.
Baby Blade 2050. That must be I reckon that's a motorbike reference.
Oh,
250.
250cc.
Hello.
Well, it's got 250 RR after it.
Hey, Lumy. Hi. I didn't realize Lumy was there.
Oh, sweet, we've got a follow-up.
He left a message for you, but
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
We've been talking about it. If we get another 50 followers tonight, we'll
Not-
buy.
Not followers.
What do you mean you left a message for me?
We'll
We
buy
need
iPads
we
for
need
ourselves
50 subscribers basically to be able to give everyone an iPad or something equivalent of
for D&D Beyond.
for D&D Beyond purposes.
I was going to say I think it's probably lower that price a little bit.
oh,
Yeah, you
so-
probably could actually.
I mean, it needs a proper collar and portraits in brain.
All right, let's do it. Let's do this D&D.
All right, as I said, we'll be going through the LARP
Oh,
stuff.
hi, welcome back.
All right,
He's keen to be sad.
He is keen to be sad, yes.
Oh shit, I gotta go.
What?
Let's
All right, Alice, are you ready for t-shirt links, or do you want me to wait?
I had.
T-shirts.
Yay! I'm gonna
Of
link it.
course.
I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna link it.
For those who are interested in buying t-shirts and just feel like I need some new t-shirts, well, buy our t-shirts.
I'm wearing one right now.
Ah,
It is extremely warm and comfortable.
It's
and
not the same with their tits, sorry.
I didn't wear mine today.
Moves are acceptable.
Alice,
Do not
Alice,
shame the moves.
that Dragonborn thing you did for Yorland, that should be the next t-shirt.
You
That
reckon?
I reckon that should be a t-shirt.
I can convert that into a t-shirt very
Like
easily.
legit, if you
yeah?
make that a t-shirt, I'm buying
I
one.
was going to say.
Easily.
There you go, for sale! For sale!
I mean,
Double price!
I can do it really easily. I
Please
just
pop
have to
down
trim off
nameplates.
the edges of
Oh, no, you got-
and
What
then
happened?
popped. Apparently,
How
I
did that happen?
I,
No, Ash was always in the middle.
Ask.
Yeah, swap.
Yeah, he was always in the middle.
Yeah, but it made more sense for me to be here because I get in later.
It didn't really matter all that much.
Just swap
Just
back,
swap.
swap back.
No, but I want to be Antoine.
Well,
No,
you got to
fine.
speak in a French accent.
That doesn't make
Et
sense.
sacre bleu!
A good French accent.
Oh.
Damn it!
Wait, did you say a good French accent? I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm more- I can only do
well,
horrendously
then you need to
racist.
swap back.
Damn it.
Actually.
I have more dice.
Please take Steve's. Now that I've realized that you're
Oh
both
my
throwing
God.
Steve's, like, oh,
My dice box came in.
Oh, that's rude.
Please
Is it the
fix
same one, the orange one?
Yeah. Same
Same
one.
box there, yeah.
But the next month is on its way.
Some rude person got him away.
All right, my players are interrupting me, so I can't get the announcements done. So first, I'd like to go and yes, thank you. I would like to basically go to all of the people who we support and support us in sort of roundabout ways. So the first one is, of course, Roll with Advantage. We are always going to promote them as much as we can because they did this fantastic thing, sent us a whole heap of dice to promote them, and plus I'm always going to promote them because it was just cool. So rollwithadvantage.com.au. Look them up. They're an Australian group. They do have export options for overseas and stuff like that. And it's basically a dice, well, not just the dice, but they've also got other D&D and tabletop products as well.
Some of them nicest dice.
Yeah, they have some great dice that they've got going there. So have a look into that. They also have like a loot box for dice, of which Ash here himself has actually already purchased. So I think the next one will come in. So what did I say about interruption?
I think I'm sorry.
How old are you, Nick?
Let's not answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know better.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Old enough to not care.
The other groups of people we always like to sort of do a shout out to, of course, is Sirenscape, because if you can actually hear the music in the background, that is from Sirenscape. I've now got myself a tablet to play it on, so it can make my life a little bit easier, so I don't have to change from screen to screen on my laptop. However, it's not as loud as it was before.
Not
It's
always
not
a
a
bad
thing.
thing.
That's true.
It's loud if we're quiet or if just you're talking.
Yeah, that's true.
It's noticeable to us.
Mm.
It should be noticeable to them, but it's not drowning us out.
Yes,
Which is a big
which is the difficult juggling act that we've got to do. And the other audio that we normally shout out to is, of course, tabletopaudio.com. It is a website that has a whole heap of stuff on it. They have a Patreon, so I support them. I support them at the moment because I think the stuff that they do is fantastic. And usually the in-between show stuff that we have usually has tabletop audio music going. I should actually modify it so we can actually do different music for once, but I'll do that at a later date when I remember. So thank you to all of those particular groups and shout out to them. And if you're ever doing your own tabletop, any type of tabletop, not just D&D, and you want some audio, they are highly recommended. All right, so we've done t-shirts, we've done that, we've done the dice mails, I've done upcoming LARPs. The first Tuesday of every month, which is not for another 3 weeks yet, but I will be doing my LARP talks on the very first Tuesday of the month, every month, starting at 8 p.m. Melbourne time, which is unfortunately probably when most of the Americans are asleep and Europeans are probably at work. Last but not least, if you do live in Melbourne and you don't have a D&D group, or you want to get into it and have never played it before, or haven't played it for a long period of time, every Monday night at the Tramway Hotel in Fitzroy in Melbourne, I run with a few other Dungeon Masters, $10 games for anyone who enters, and yeah, we run through and play a whole heap of different stuff depending on who we get on the night and what we do, and so on and so forth. I am currently trying to start up a campaign type style game, so they're not just like once-offs and randomly all over the place. And I have a new group of people to do that with, hopefully. So, yeah, that campaign will be kicking off, hopefully, in a few weeks. But if you're interested, I'm one of the GMs. Come along and say, hey, I want to join that guy. All right.
I shouldn't have proficiency in Thieves' Tools, should I? Expertise, sorry.
Interruptions.
This sheet is fucked.
I think you only have one person to blame for that.
Zing!
Also,
All right. Is there anything else that I could think of that I've missed? No?
unless you
Okay.
want to do the dice. Oh, you
You already did the dice thing, eh?
No.
All right. Let
At some
me.
point I'll start up my stream again, but that requires fixing my computer.
That's computer died, is it?
No, the hard drive is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's running out of space, so it clogs itself up.
So
at the moment.
Ah, okay, so you had to do it at the cleanup. That's basically what you
I've
did.
done the cleanup. There's
And it's
still
still
only
clogging?
about 5 gig left.
Oof.
Jesus.
It's
Yeah.
a very small drive. Yeah.
Get
so
a new drive.
I need to.
How big is it?
It's only like 100. No.
1 terabyte?
No,
No,
it's
no.
a solid state. It's one of
It's
the
a very-
early solid
Ah, okay.
One of the very,
Yeah.
very early.
So you need like another
solid
secondary
states.
drive type thing for just the purposes of just dumping all of stuff on type thing?
think
No,
your
this
one's,
has only got
7
my
years old.
OS on it and like 2 programs and like my drivers. This is my
And that
system OS.
Yeah.
46
Yeah.
old drivers in every
Mm.
folder.
All right. Let us.
It's a $200 endeavor that I just can't do right now, so it'll happen in a couple of weeks.
That is true.
Yes.
Let us start Sunday nights. The town of Montanoil is now on the horizon, slowly disappearing away. What started off as a simple stopover on a caravan trip has turned into something much, much more. The death of a fellow compatriot, as well as some of the loved animals by at least one party member. Execution of plans didn't quite go to plan, and some things, by sheer luck or sheer hapstance, didn't go to plan. And on top of all that, with all of their indignation, all of their desires to solve a problem, in the end, they may have done nothing at all. But it is no longer their concern. They have left Montanoil. They're on their little caravan, one member down, dead, Another one has disappeared. They are short two of their horses, and the druid of the party is doing the best he can, being the horses and travelling this thing as far away as they can from Montanoil. You travel for most of the day, heading out of Montanoil quietly, in your own thoughts, in your own processes, and just focusing on getting as far away as you possibly can from this place. You don't know where you're going exactly, but you know that you're at least heading northwards in a rough direction. You're traveling through a lot of the farmlands, a lot of the apple orchards in the area, but most of the day goes unhindered. You decide that after a couple of hours in the darkness, and it was becoming a bit more of a struggle to travel through the area, that you had to camp for the night. You've already made the decision that you can't put a fire out because that would signal where you are just in case someone is on your trail. However, because it is still roughly the middle of summer or towards the end of summer, it is not a cold night. You decide that perhaps going to sleep early might be a good thing, but none of you can really sleep. You sit around a circle in front of an imaginary campfire that you would normally have. And that's where you are.
Have I managed to chase down those waves?
We'll get to that.
Oh, I hadn't seen them yet? Oh, okay.
So, it was like did us with the handcart catch up, or are we
Sorry.
still?
Yeah, you're all together at this stage.
Oh, we're all together.
Sorry, let me phrase that. I forgot because you got one group of people who were ahead of you. So
Yeah.
the very first group who went out basically just know with the concept that you still have to just get away from this place and hope for the best.
Mm.
They stop, set up a camp, and because there's really not many places they can go in this part of the world, because you're still within farmlands outside of Montanoil, you're just in like a day's travel out from Montanoil now. The farmlands have started to let up and it's mostly turning into hills and forests again. But you theorize that, yeah, you're in a situation where you could be found, but you also need to do it so the others can catch up. So the very first group of people who were on the caravan itself stop, set up camp, and wait for you guys to arrive, which a few hours later, you guys then arrive. You see the caravan sticks out like a sore thumb to you, and you all gather together and then sit down on the ground and, yeah, do whatever you do.
Well, we have Yolan's body.
I think that's a very important point, Tim. I feel like the emotional strife and roleplay would actually begin just as soon as the people who escaped with the cart spot the three people who were
Yes.
caught up to us.
Yep.
So Amber has the cart. She's holding it.
Mhm.
We have it covered. Christian, it was covered. Do we have like a
Carpet?
cloak or something, or carpet over it? Or?
It's got like rugs and stuff over it.
That's all good.
Yeah.
So we'd come up to you guys pretty like out
Amber,
of place.
Rowan doesn't know yet. Just maybe let Imperius talk. Actually, maybe you can come in there. Oh, fuck, I don't know. We need a fire.
Tim, we kind of burst dramatically through a partially charred cart to get out,
Yes.
right? Did any of like the ash or the residue from the cart end up on Rowan?
Yes.
Okay.
Not a huge amount, but some, yeah.
Well, like most of the time that's been spent in between us arriving and them arriving has been Rowan just like pouring water from his water skin onto his hands, just like rubbing them and like trying to get the stuff that's on him off because he doesn't feel very comfortable with himself and his decision-making skills right now.
Yep.
So he's been kind of by himself, all quiet, feeling gross.
Amber just very quietly rolls up with the cart, like in the middle of everyone, puts it down, starts grabbing rugs and laying them down, and eventually you guys will see Yolan's body, and she will just pick it up and put it down on the rug. That's it. She's quiet at the moment.
And it's very obvious that he's dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Rowan, he sees this, he just like staggers forward slowly, tears beginning to well up in his eyes, and he just kind of like does a scan of everybody else to like gauge their reactions, just because he got the impression that people knew what he didn't. So I'm going to be making an insight check to see whether or not people are seeing this or learning about this for the first time or not.
You don't even need to. It's written on Rayleigh's face. He's just like,
Yep. Well, that's a 14 to see if this is news to anybody else but him.
News to Imperius.
I thought you knew.
Kind of.
He guessed.
It was at the house when they grabbed the body that he got a hint for it. That no actual confirmation because he didn't see the body ever.
That's
he
true,
just heard
that's
mention of it, and that's it.
And Amber only knows because Antoine told him. Her.
And you're also carrying the body.
Well, yes, of course. That's why she insisted on retrieving the body.
Yeah.
We need a fire. We need to send this one to his god. But we can't do it here.
you're supposedly a master of death or something, right?
I can cast a spell over him to make sure that his corpse can never be used for evil, yes.
Do you know funeral rites?
For my race, yes. For his race, maybe. Yes.
To religion.
We worship Tiamat.
I know everything about Dragonborn burial rites.
You rolled a natural 20 is what you're saying. That becomes a total of, just so we know the numbers.
23.
23. Okay, you don't have any religion. Okay, yeah.
Actually, I do. So that should be higher than that. I know religion's intelligence.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Which is why
It's a
You
challenge.
I fluked knowing this one particular race's burial rites.
This particular, it's not so much this particular race, he just somehow knew about his tribe. He just had this inkling about, once you put everything together, you see the dagger that he has at his side, and you start putting, now you've had a chance to look at this all properly, you see the dagger that he created, that he has at his side, and you also notice that everyone else has also got the same dagger, written in different words of Draconic, because they're all their names, wasn't it?
Yes.
So they're all different Draconic names.
I would not be able to read them anymore.
And that, along with a couple of other bits and pieces, as well as the amulet that he has around his neck, which looks like an eye, essentially. And you've noticed that, yeah, it kind of like all puts together that it may be Tiamat and a bit of Bahamut. Sorry, yeah, Bahamut.
Not Tiamat.
I always get them mixed up.
Good
I
guy.
get them mixed up.
I'll tell you,
It's-
evil one I got.
Yeah, you know what basically is Bahamut, the Platinum Paladin.
Yeah.
Thus, the first thing you always want to know about the rights of anyone who follows the god is that did they die as a paladin? And that's one thing you do as the rites is to know the story of how they died and did they die right according to the rites of Tiamat. Bahamut. Well, actually, that's true. Did they follow the concepts of Tiamat or did they follow the concepts of Bahamut?
It all depends on what kind of person he was.
Because part of the burial of this is learning the story if you don't know the story and getting everyone to know the story.
I feel like Amber and... Sorry, what was your characters?
Volkia.
Amber and Volkia probably would have talked a little bit about Yorland on their walk away.
But this is more about the funeral rites itself.
I know, but he would have a little sense of Yorland and an idea of the character and person, because they would have most likely had to talk about.
So I imagine now what I do is go to each person and ask them what kind of person Yorland was and ask them to tell a story. And then find out through that.
Rowan is just like on his knees with kind of a troublingly widening frost effect emerging from around him. Just formed solid droplets of ice are just pouring out of his eyes. And he just turns to Rayleigh and said, "When were you going to tell me?"
When it was safe to do so.
Amber will come up to you and put a hand on your shoulder.
It's really cold.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She doesn't feel anything. Remember, she doesn't have feelings.
It's fine. If I get frostbite, oh well.
Know that death is nothing to be feared.
What happened?
He died.
You fought.
Fighting about 5 guards and a mage and some other people.
I can't be here right now.
Where would you like to go?
Are we near woods? Okay.
Light woods, but yeah.
Sure. Rowan's just gonna stand up and just walk towards the tree line.
Rowan,
Hmm.
may I accompany you?
No. And then as he walks away, there's this kind of shimmer around him, as though he is somehow not very easy to see anymore. He casts Pass Without Trace and just runs off into the tree line.
Amber's gonna shout after you. Be safe!
Okay.
Right, I proceed to go around. So, I need to get the feeling of what kind of man Yorlin was. So, to know his proper burial rites, I need to know, was he good? Did he strive for justice?
I feel like he was one of the...
He was one of the best of us.
Yes.
He did what needed to be done, and I pull out the dagger that Yorlin made for me and stick it in Yorlin's hand and walk away.
He was he had a great personal honor, and he stuck to it as
Very
close as he could.
strong sense of what was right.
Can I see if he's
He was a great fighter.
his relic is on? It is.
Sorry, his necklace you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
What do you want to know about, sorry?
I want to see if it's there.
Oh, he said it was.
Is this short sword there?
Yeah.
In that case, I'm actually going to trade the short sword for the dagger. And as I'm doing so, say, my blade for yours.
The copper and metal twisted blade?
Yep.
Yep, and now yours. Notes.
This is high school.
It's relevant.
Do you want to share with the class?
No. If you wanted to share with the class, you wouldn't have written it in a note.
We need some people.
And
Just to make sure Tim's aware of Rowan's intentions.
I'm actually going to leave my Kursagana with him as well. So, the obsidian Kursagana.
Yep.
Going to just wrap it up, bundle it, put it under his arm.
Okay.
When we first started travelling with Yorlin, I remembered feeling a little bit confused by our, well, we are a bit of a motley bunch, eh?
That is an understatement.
Me? Just
But
a little bit too.
But I don't know about, but for me it became very quickly obvious that he just wanted to right by his people. And family was one of the most important things to him.
I think we were perhaps a bit of a surrogate family
Perhaps.
from his point of view.
Family within Dragonborn society is very close-knit, so I imagine, yes, once you get to know people. What happened to his family?
We do not know.
We do not know. There was apparently an attack on his village at some point.
There was trouble. He left to seek out someone.
It was our intention to head in the direction of his village after business of the Black City.
What's better than the two people who could most adequately answer that question aside from Yorwin are Rowan and Amir, because they were present in that dream.
He was present when he threw the bit of coal into the lava. He's the one that should be remember where he goes, but he's probably completely forgotten, haven't you?
No, it's
The Imperial City.
no, I know. not
Like,
what's the say it?
like what happened to his home initially and,
Ah,
and
yeah.
his family too.
Yes.
Yeah, because
No, I was aware of it.
Yeah, I was gonna made pretty much everyone kind of like an NPC during that whole
Not me.
except for you. That's right. Yeah.
No, I think by that point there was only. So I started off with Yulin in the dream sequence, so only I saw the fight with Yulin, only he saw your mother's house.
The intent of the dream was that you were all still aware of it.
Because
Okay.
within the dream that Yolan had, Imperius, yourself,
Oh,
Rowan,
was
and Amir was also present within the dream.
Yeah, but at different points.
Yeah.
yeah, so never mind.
Well, it seems that he lived as a good person, so the funeral rites for a follower of Behemoth would probably be the closest, which requires a fire of quite some size, which would be a beacon to anyone that is still looking for us.
I feel that a fire would be very appropriate for your end.
It would be, but
Quite often, because you rolled a natural 20 on that one, part of the ritual is to actually, because it's a brass,
Yes.
being fire, part of it is usually just breathing fire on from the family to the family, like the breath of the fire is part of the family. So breathing fire on the dead corpse to burn it so it doesn't become something else that they don't want it to be, type thing. So that's part of the tradition. However, if you don't have another brass dragon born in the area, who's part of the family essentially, then yeah, fire is the next best thing.
Yeah.
We started piling.
Is it safe here?
I don't care. No, it's not.
No, it is
But we
not.
started big enough fire and it won't matter. I start getting wood.
Roland's not here to stop us, so.
How big is the forest that we're in?
It's going to take you a while to collect all the wood, you think. It's not huge in any particular stance. There's like patches of trees here and there.
Enough to start a forest fire.
Probably the thing you probably did notice as you were travelling in the area, you're still roughly in farmlands and the apple orchards as well. The apple orchards are probably closer to Montanoil itself.
Is there
But
a
there's
wheat field or something?
Yes.
In the wheat field.
What about the farmers?
Bigger the fire is, the easier to not know where it started.
We've done some morally questionable things in the last 40
And
years.
I don't care.
Well, I do.
It feels like you are going to honor the memory of our friend by committing a bad thing.
If we're going
And I
to
will
do
not
this,
allow that to happen. What I can do, I will cast a spell over him, and we can do this once we get out of this area. It will protect him, and it will mean that he will never be able to be raised as an undead.
Fine.
Well, I will go about doing this then.
in the meantime, do we maybe want to wrap the body so that it's not so conspicuous?
It would probably be advisable. But let me finish with my spell first. I go on getting my, like,
Oh, so
little life check, I forgot what it's called.
Gentle repose.
Death Ward. Oh no, Gentle Repose, that's the one.
I was gonna say, what?
What is it? Death water is if you're alive still.
Yeah. I go on getting a pinch of salt, which I keep in my bag as a ward for undead, and 2 copper pieces. So placing on the eyes, and then casting the spell.
Excellent. As you sprinkle the salt across the body. You sprinkle the salt around, creating a kind of like a barrier. Yes, the word I'm looking for. A bit of a shape around the body, and then bring out your holy symbol. Say a few words to your god, to Kalemvor, and then the salt slightly melts, turns into a bit of a liquid, and then evaporates quickly in front of your eyes. And then the water of the salt itself moves towards the body, and then covers itself around it as much as it can, and then disappears.
And I go along, if you would like to help.
Sure.
I grab like I go through one of my chests and grab like the nicest blanket I have in there to wrap the body.
And I'll help him, lifting the body
Yep.
and
So you're putting him in the back of the cart, I assume?
In the caterpillar.
Yeah, that's what I meant, caterpillar, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
because
we got
I
some
figured
rugs.
you guys have got the push cart as well.
Yeah.
I'll probably roll them back up and put them on the push cart, the rugs.
Yeah, done.
We can't take the bush cart, it's too large.
It's not
Fine.
mine.
Pile everything up on the roof.
Can everyone do a perception check,
Touch
please?
it to the back.
Oh, I'm at disadvantage, aren't I?
Mine was
That's a 9.
garbage.
21.
Mine was 1. And then
14, I'm glad you're decent. And Rory, you still gotta do it.
What do you perceive from the woods?
What was I doing?
Here's everybody.
Perception roll.
Perception. Oh, not good.
14.
Nope.
Wait, you didn't get good?
I got,
You didn't get good.
I got an 11 from a 4, so it's not terrible, but it's also not great.
11.
Well, we got a 21 in the mix, so that's good.
I rolled a 5.
21 was the highest, was it?
Imperius is carrying the body on this one.
I thought
I'm
still at
surprised that 21 was the highest. He's
One of the
absolutely-
least perceptual people was the most perceptual.
Who got the 21?
Me.
You.
Yeah.
I thought you had good perception.
No, I'm only going to plus 3.
Oh, there you go.
Plus
I
3,
think
I
you're
got
plus
plus 1.
Plus 2.
Yeah, I got a
Just
plus
gotta go
6
back
and I
with
still bombed it.
You guys are all around in the place except for you, of course. You two are starting to put the body away into the caterpillar.
Yeah.
And you three are still sort of sitting on the ground on either logs that are there or stumps or just the ground itself. Hope I haven't come here at a bad time.
It's the perfect time to rain.
Alright. Sorry it took a bit longer to get here than the rest of you, but I have to make sure that not many people were following us. A few more soldiers had to sort of have their heads exploded open. But I think I managed to keep them at bay and busy for a few hours to sort of give you a bit of a head start. But you know what? They're going to be coming.
Thank you, Tavern.
It's alright, my friends.
My next view, yeah.
We have perhaps an hour
Assistance.
before we should move.
I'll tell you what, though, I don't have much of a way in needing to rest all that much. I'm not a spellcaster in any particular sense of the manner, and while I have used up most of my stuff to sort of keep these guys busy, I do need a bit of time to clean my guns and restock myself and the bullets inside these things. Other than that, I'm happy to take up the steed of being a guard for the night so you guys can get yourselves a good rest.
Mission journey.
We can take turns.
We can, but I'm giving you the option.
In terms of leaving, we don't have any. There aren't any horses attached to the caterpillar. Rowan was the one who was conjuring them. So just can't leave without him.
Amber would not leave without him anyway.
Fair enough.
100% she would die before she left Ron behind.
You can't
He
use
was
that
just going to
cooperation.
get up silently and go into the cart.
With the body on the ground, it makes the cart have less room to be utilised. In fact, honestly, not all of you guys can fit in the cart
There's
anyway.
rugs, we can sleep on those.
Yeah, not all of you guys can fit in the cart though, so some of you always have to sleep outside. It's basically what it comes down. We haven't really established this that much, but some of you always sleep outside anyway. I know Bradley generally does because he likes to have the open area. Chen
And
was
the
probably
sun
not that
is
much
sleeping.
different. And Valen was,
Get locked in.
yeah, exactly,
One-way
locked into it.
entrance.
It was designed to be like it's like
More and
like ground floor 2 people, halfway up 2 people, and then right up by the ceiling 2 people.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how well implemented that was.
It's not bad, but it's still a bit tight, a bit
Yeah.
squishy.
Well, I slept in a chest. He slept on the floor.
Valen,
Yeah? Yeah?
have you seen Amia?
I haven't seen Amir at all. Not even come out of that particular place. I have no idea where he's gone.
And Chen?
I haven't seen Chen either.
Hopefully they are together.
Hopefully, but that's a long stretch. I'm surprised we haven't seen him at all. I mean, do you guys even know where he went after you did what you did? It was with you guys, wasn't
He didn't
Who?
come out.
he? Amir. So you just like lost sight of him.
There was a big cloud of smoke.
What does he look like?
Emia?
Tall, half elf.
Tavern.
Dark magic.
He wasn't taken
Comes
as
from
prisoner.
the deserts.
I would have heard.
Well, he didn't come out with us, like myself and our dragon boyfriend. So
If
I
he
should
didn't
expect
come
him
out
out
as a, if he didn't come out as a prisoner, it's Emia. He'll talk his way through. He always does.
That's making an assumption there that he's actually not dead, but yeah, you're right.
Well, if he is dead, what do you wish we to do? Go back and find his corpse? He wouldn't do that. I don't think he'd do the same thing.
As always, really, you're a ray of sunshine.
You too.
Emir was an ally. In his own words.
I'm more concerned about, if you manage to lose sight of him and not see what happened to him, then, it could be a whole heap of things that could be going on there. It's not my kettle of fish. I mean, I've always kind of been an outsider in your group. I mean, I'm more inside than probably most of the other people in this world, but, yeah, you guys have some strange stuff following you all the time, so I'm always a little bit concerned.
Look,
Curious, but concerned.
Emir knows where we're going. He'll find us.
Either he made his way out or he didn't. There's nothing but going
His
back for him
best
to do.
chance of escape anyway is without us. Throwing big targets across the entire city again.
Well, the problem is that, yeah, he may know where we're going, but we're not going in that direction.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting to, like. We're heading north here, so we're going to be heading directly into forests, into hills, and probably even mountains we don't even know about.
We'll send the raven.
Good point. I whip out the raven and send a quick message to Emia, and I'm just saying, heading north. Forest name. Do I know the name of the forest in the area?
It's called the Fey Forest.
Fey Forest.
If you're not there, I know.
Still, shh.
Yeah, but well, I've seen the map too, so I should know. It's just I've forgotten it out of character.
It's always that argument between in character and out of character. If you should know, then you should have written it down. But yes, because the game is generally a week in between, it is hard to remember.
Unless you have the key mind feeds, in which case you just break the game over your knee.
I'm pretty sure I would know where we are.
Yeah.
And be able to tell you directions on what to do.
Fine, I'll send the message. Headed north,
Mm-hmm.
Fey Forest.
The little bird flies off. The silver raven shoots up into the air and disappears.
Besides, we're not
What
going
is
anywhere
it?
till Rowan gets back.
Does anyone know how to tell the time by the moon?
We.
Well, can I try? Can I try?
You could try.
Survival check?
Mm-hmm. Why rolling 2 dice?
Because I have disadvantage still. I'm exhausted.
Ah, good point. Yes.
It's midday.
Well, let's see. My stat is a -2 and I rolled a natural 1.
Well, there you
It's
go.
midday. It must be midday.
Why is the sun still up?
Oh, no.
So, she's going to go with... It's very late.
It's that time.
I knew that. Can you count how long it takes for that raven to come back?
Oh, actually...
No.
Amber hasn't had a drink this whole time.
Mhm.
She's probably still got a really bad pounding headache.
I figured that you were distracted with everything that's going on. Just head down, tail up, get the hell out of Dodge.
Oh, very much so. She wouldn't have even thought of it.
So yeah, you've been a couple of days without having a drink, if I'm not mistaken. At least one full 24-hour
It's
period.
been at least 24 hours.
Mm.
No, I gave you the vial of blessed alcohol.
Amber, that's right, you did.
Mhm, that's right.
But
So
she's
you-
only had like a sweet. Like a...
It's still up.
You got to drink the whole lot to get the effect, essentially.
That's what she... Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's the
so
thing. I don't know
no,
how
you
much...
drank
Like
the
a
whole
cup
It's a
of.
glass.
You drank
One glass of wine.
You got the effect, so you must have drunk all of it.
No.
Oh, of course she did. She would have drunk it like water.
No. She would have done that. No.
Oh, Antoine,
We
this is yours. And I pull off the ring and pass it to you.
and the other one.
Oh, yeah. Pull that off and pass it to you as well. I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
Messi. I always notice when I sink in water.
I don't think there's anything else I have to give back at the moment.
I just sort of like walk off a bit further from the group and just sort of like kneel down somewhere, get my holy symbol out and start praying.
So what's your plan?
He's praying.
Yes, but is he going to stay with us? Or has he got off somewhere else to go?
Maybe he's asking for divine guidance.
Nick.
I'm praying in a language that I'm 90% sure no, you'll understand it.
Is it common because you have Celeste?
No, because I want to do it in a language that no one can speak here, and I know that you're an elf and she's dwarf. The only other language I know is Celestial.
I'm inside the car, but
Aha! So you won't hear it.
But you also don't necessarily
So-
know. Wait, we told you he's an Asma, didn't we?
I think
You just told me
I
he
think
was
no. I think
humanoid-looking.
He looks
guy
like
with
an
fine
Asimov.
faces.
No, he doesn't
just-
quite. He looks
no.
like a human.
Asmas look like very beautiful humans with like
they're not very distinct, other than
other than like maybe
Fantastically
a-
beautiful.
other than being a 10 out of 10.
they have like a distinguishing
Okay.
trait, but it's not super distinguishing. Other than that's a bit odd.
That person is far too attractive.
Yeah, or like hair that kind of shimmers a little bit, or eyes that glow a little bit. In Apirius's case, he has the rune tattoos down his arm and up his neck, but we don't notice them much because he's.
I was going to say, because I'm covered in robes, and
Yeah.
you've probably never seen them.
Me, definitely not.
I've seen you in the bathroom.
Yeah, I was going to say, anyone who's been to the bathhouse.
But yeah, I just start asking Callum for what should I do next. Should I follow this ragtag group of miscreants or find another town to lay low in?
While he's actually away, I will turn to you guys. Do we trust him?
I have no idea, and at the moment I don't particularly care.
He interrogated me and Juan and us at the prison
With tools?
with magic.
How?
A truth spell, I think it was.
Very compelled to be very vocal about this question being asked.
Needs a different interrogation to what I would use, but it is not particularly hostile.
It was unwilling.
Well, to be fair, he didn't know what was going on, so
He also
Say
had
we-
2 Muslim on guard with him at the time.
It was a strange
Yeah.
conversation.
leave it for the moment. We'll watch him.
He has
Well-
helped us this far, so I will not kill him.
He has not stabbed us in the back.
If anything, he has done a lot of things that would put his own life at risk in our favor.
I do not think he's evil, but
I
I'm
do
not.
not particularly care.
But some of us do.
At the moment, he's useful. I don't care about anything else.
I put my trust with him for the moment. He's helped us this far, and he helped us with Yolan's body.
Help
That's a
me
lot.
find Rowan. The moment the bird's back, we need to move.
I'm not going anywhere without Rowan. Fine. But I'm not very good at navigating.
Just follow me.
Right.
You probably realise that the bird won't be back till the morning. It's been travelling for pretty much a whole day, so
It'll probably dispel halfway back then.
potentially, yeah.
But you've at least passed the message on.
I mean, is there an option for the recipient to keep the bird and for it not to return?
No.
The bird will still return. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it too
It
much.
dispels.
Okay.
It'll be fine. Don't stress about it. It'll take some time before it returns. That's all that matters.
Otherwise, some farmer in the fields just.
It's still a raven. Oh, well, bonus.
Oh boy.
As long as it's not traveling at like total velocity.
Yeah.
Crunch!
Oh boy, a raven.
Oh wow, shooting star.
That's more like, oh boy, a raven, and my entire field wasn't burnt for no reason. Bonus!
So I guess we're wandering off to find Rowan.
For the moment.
How long would all this discussion have taken?
I don't know.
20 minutes.
Half an hour maybe?
Okay, well then, he still has half an hour of passing that trace active.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's fine.
Yes.
Ember is also at disadvantage for any rolls, so I mean, like, it doesn't matter. She's not fighting.
Rowan, we need to move soon.
So they're actively looking for me?
Yes.
So some sort of opposed perception and stealth checks.
Yes, I guess so.
I'm just thinking of he's slipping from shadow to shadow and she's just crashing through.
Yeah, no, she's literally she's like breaking things as she's going. She's not quiet.
Just tree gets in the way, punch it.
Mm-hmm.
A branch gets in her way and she goes to move it and just the whole thing snaps off. Like,
Yeah.
she's not subtle.
Roll your rolls.
I have.
What do you
I
roll?
imagine we're using survival to find these
Perception?
tracks first.
I don't. He doesn't.
Doesn't
You
make it.
don't need anything with passing that trace.
Mm-hmm.
She's
So roll,
just heading
roll
in the general
perceptions.
direction I saw him walk.
Roll perception rolls.
I did.
Garbage.
13.
9.
Enough.
I know.
You get a plus 10.
You get the plus 10, so unless you rolled really, really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled better that time.
You guys struggle to find him for a good while.
I mean, we're just kind of wandering and yelling out his name.
This is useless.
You probably wouldn't care too much. You're happy to just keep going and going and going
Yeah.
until you find him.
Literally.
You're impatient enough to give up.
No. He's impatient enough to wear the flint.
To what?
Wear the flint and go to
Start, start burning a fire, yeah.
This will bring it back.
I'd punch you if you did that.
It's time to go, Amber.
What about Rowan?
That's a good idea, King.
Either he will follow the cart tracks and catch up, or he won't.
It's nighttime.
We can't move the cart without him, and we're not going anywhere without him anyway.
He's the one that summons the horses that you don't have currently to drive this thing.
Is there a nearby farm?
They're somewhat nearby, yeah.
We steal some horses and we
No! We have perfectly good means to horses.
for an hour at a time, and we currently have an entire contingent of soldiers after us. Or
For the
could have.
moment, there's nothing coming. We're fine.
You're a fighter, but can you take an entire army? I can't. I can kill one man, maybe two. I know you can kill a few more than that, but you can't fight an army.
Amber's just gonna shout really loudly, Rowan!
He's not coming, Amber.
Then we wait.
You wait. I move on.
Fine.
And I start heading back to the car.
And Amber's gonna grumpily, like her stubborn dwarf, plonk her ass right where she is and sit and wait.
Little do you know, the camera in this movie, if it was ever made into a movie, Rowan is just on the other side of a rock.
She's just grumpily on the floor.
You know I'm right.
He's in a tree.
I was going to say, it'd be standing above her on that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so Rowan has a plan.
I have a plan.
He never has a plan.
He has
He always has a plan. It just
Yeah,
doesn't
it's not
necessarily
good
work
ones.
out. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody else goes to sleep, and Amber's just
Not yet.
sitting with her back to a rock, grumbling. Rowan is gonna wait until she falls asleep, and then do something.
Imperious. It's taken me 3 hours, but I've made gazpacho. Look, this is the only thing I can make that's good.
Well, that just completely killed me. What I was about to do.
No, it doesn't. It's still.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
I'm at least happy you did it in character.
Yes.
Rolled
Before
6 times.
before a little midget burst into the cart, yelling about food that he's made, Imperius is going to head over to Yorn's body and rest a hand on him. My dear friend, I will miss you incredibly, but I swear to you that we will, as soon as we finish with the Black City, we will do what we can for your clan. We will find them, and we will save as many as we can. And he's going to take the amulet of Bahamut. And I have a prayer for Bahamut.
Go for it.
So,
Gladly.
Great Lord Bahamut, Lord of the Wind, give me strength, for I am not strong enough to stand up against the evil around me. On my own, I will stumble in time and be crushed under the tides of darkness that flood around me. I need your aid to save me from the shadows of this world, and from myself. Because even as I put my sword to the foes of the people, and even though my shield guards the defenseless from their evil claws, in time I could become exactly what I seek to abolish. So, Father, give me strength. Do not do this task for me. Do not consider me a child for demanding a favor. But, Father, give me strength so that I might do your will. Grace me with the gifts so that I might set about the task before me. Give me aid, but do not take the task from me, for I am eager to test myself and to push on. And I think he'll just start crying.
Very well put.
Okay, so maybe we put the soup at the end of this.
It's pistachio soup, eh?
No, gazpacho, not
Gas-
pistachio.
I cannot even pronounce it.
Pistachio is nuts.
Gazpacho soup seasoned with ASMR tears.
Salty.
In the forest as well, Amber's probably talking out loud to herself, but also to Rowan, kind of, because she hopes that he can hear her. Is it okay?
Just keep going, keep going.
And it'd be mostly useless mumbling about everything that's kind of happened. Rowan, are you here? Ugh, this is the worst. How did this happen? Where's my ale? Damn it! I shouldn't have run. I should have stayed. I could have stopped this. I could have made this different.
I get back
It's
to
like throwing twigs.
get back to the farm and basically walk in on Imperius crying. Imperius, I'm sorry. And I pick up the Kurasagana again. And each time I'm leaving the body, I'm leaving the Kurasagana there.
You all pack it in for the night, as much as you can. For those who manage to actually get some sleep because you are inherently exhausted, start to find your resting spot in this particular part of the camp.
Amber passes out in the forest.
And as soon as she does, Rowan jumps down from the tree, pulls out his blanket and puts it over her.
No.
And then he tries to find a farm with horses.
Make new friends.
Neil, Vale and Quiet. No, I know Valen on me.
Valen.
I knew Golan quite well, but I didn't have the same attachments that these particular people had because I only really met him briefly, early in their career, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. I think I managed to know him a bit better when we took the boat out to Summerpart itself from Wormia. It's only been about 4 months, but seems like a year ago now. Seems like it's been a fair amount of time since it's gone down. Yeah, I think you and me at least, I think we should take guard for them and let them have whatever they need.
This is my plan.
I'm happy to take the first watch and you take the second, or would you like the other way around?
I am happy to leave it.
Alright. Get yourself some rest, folks. I'll look after you.
Missy, baby. Missy.
Fine.
And with that, you guys try to get to sleep where you can.
Rowan's not asleep yet. He has like scarfed off to try and find farm the horses actively.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Rayleigh would be asleep like that, simply because he's used to sleeping in streets and shit, and tonight's the first night he's sleeping inside the caravan.
Yep. You have a quick wander off into some of the local farms in the area, and there's no horses. There's oxen, but that's about as much as you're going to get out of this place.
Okay. Yeah. Rowan's gonna go up to the ox.
The ox goes, "Get off my land!
Is this your land?
I've been here for the start of my life."
Oh, it's an old ox. Oh, God, this is gonna get awkward. Would you like to go on an adventure?
No!
Do you know any oxen that would?
No!
Oh, you're really upset.
I'm retired, you see. This is my place. All I do up and down every day is pull this yoke, and I think there's something on the end of it. I don't know why, but it's my thing.
Are there any other ox around here? Aside from one really angry old man. Because this is not going to go well.
Maybe a team of squirrels.
I mean, even just one ox isn't enough to pull a cart.
So you've got a bit of understanding. The 2 horses that you wanted to track before, you still can.
Yes. Oh, yes. Good. Yes. Okay. That will do.
You forgot about it. I've remembered it.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the next day for it to kick in.
Yeah, but we need to leave immediately, and having horses immediately is good. You know what? I still have a wild shape. Yeah, I'm gonna get back onto the road, try and get the trail of these horses, and then if I find it, turn into a horse and try and track them down.
If you do this, then you're probably not going to get your long rest, just so you're aware.
I can probably do it during the day.
Yeah, you can.
I'm fine with that as long as everybody else can leave on schedule. Because if we have to wait around after the morning.
So if you decide to go off on yourself to try and track down the horses, then yeah, sure.
As angry as Rowan is, he's feeling very pragmatic right now, and it needs to happen. So
Okay, cool. So you're happy to summon some horses for them to start travelling with the cart in the morning, and you head off and try and find the other 2 horses. Is that what you're saying?
I'm trying to find the other horses because we cannot travel for 3 hours a day at a time. That's not
Correct.
feasible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yep, I'll make survival rolls to try and get it.
Sorry. Let me make sure we get this right. You're doing it now during the night.
Right now. Yes.
Okay, cool. Then you're not going to get a long rest, just so you're right.
That's cool. I'll sleep during the day.
Done. Okay.
Okay. Survival, please be good. 10. Why? Horses.
Wow, just on one roll. I think it's been happening a lot with you, this group. Comes down to one roll and then not go in your favour. You struggle to find their trail again.
I just want to say I just rolled.
What to do?
Try again.
What's going to use so many spells? You know what? I'm not gonna stop until I find them.
Okay, this still takes you time to do this, even on the failed roll.
That's fine.
You've probably had to travel a good hour or two out of the camp where everyone is currently, just to even get yourself an idea of what's going on.
Rowan's just pounding good berries to try and stay awake at this point.
Yeah. After a while, you realise that you've lost their trail.
What? If I've travelled like an hour or two away from where we're staying, are there any other animals to steal?
You see more oxen and more oxen and more oxen. That's
Okay.
the most common in the area.
I'm gonna try and find some young oxen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you managed to find some oxen.
Two.
One that you know you can get to without too much of a drama.
Okay, I'm gonna jump the fence. I should say, hi. How are you?
Alright.
How are you? I'm Rowan.
Did you just put your head out the head shake an ox?
Yes. What's your name?
I don't know.
Would you like to come with me? I don't know.
I think my name might be piece of shit.
I'm going to call you I don't know.
Alright, I don't know.
Would you like to go on an adventure with me?
Can you do me a persuasion check?
7.
No.
I pull out the rod of rulership. I'll use it on him.
What's the DC on the roller roof
I
again?
don't know.
Don't worry about it.
I've never used this. But if you're asking, it must be close. I think it might be DC 15 wisdom or something.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, it's kind of on par. Come on, buddy. I need a win here. We need some kind of beast of burden.
Yeah, 15.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah, alright.
Alright, come with me. And I walk for like an hour or two with him back to our car, and I will actively attach him to the car because I know Rowan has realized this, but domesticated animals are really dumb.
Yeah, like about half an hour of travelling away from where you found him in his original location after he's been there and whatnot, he stops. Starts chewing on grass.
I say, no, come on. Let's keep on going.
Puts a hoof up.
He's giving me the horse finger.
Yes.
The ox finger.
The ox finger. It's like an Oxford comma.
So, as long as it takes, I get him back.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's fine.
I attach him to the cart because Rowan realizes that once these domesticated animals realize they're doing a job, they're fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, another horse has been really, really well trained. He's like, oh, you're riding me now? Cool, let's go. Yeah, so just to make sure the ox realizes that this is his life now.
Yep.
Attached to this car.
The ox is basically at your camp currently, and you probably wouldn't have put him onto the yoke yet. So you do that in the morning.
Yeah, so...
Otherwise, he's just sitting there along the side of the dirt road and just basically just...
I mean, I'll get a longer rope and tie his horn to a tree because just in case he tries to wander off. And he's not going to object because I'm a trusted leader. and then what, like 4 in the morning, is it?
who'd be awake still if they're trying to be awake?
I'd probably be on watch.
That's right, you would be on watch. You'll see, you'll see him come back with an ox, and it's like he's got a big bell around his neck too, so it's like ding, ding, ding,
Cowbell.
ding. Cowbell, yeah. Dong, dong, dong,
Equal
dong.
Don't ask.
You might want to remove the bell.
Oh yeah. I'll pull out the dagger that you all made him, cut it off, and then there's just this moment of take with me, leave with him. Take with me, leave with him. But he puts it away again, and then just curls up under the cart and falls asleep.
You wake up. You all wake up in the morning. The night, like Balin wakes you up halfway through the night, says everything seems to be alright. They're probably in the same boat that we are. As like night times comes, they're not coming out this part of the world either. So if they're hot on our tails, they're stuck for the night as well. So I think we'd be rapid, keep an eye out.
I will keep an ear out for any noise.
Amber never came
She's asleep in the woods. It's fine.
Yeah, but I know where she is.
You know where I am. She doesn't know where she is.
Oh no.
Alright, so you guys wake up in the morning and start get yourself together. You do it rather quickly because you know you have to be out of here as quickly as you can. So you
As soon as I see Rayleigh get up, I'm like, Amber, she did not return.
I know. She wasn't going to. I'll get there.
Rowan returned. She did not.
She'll be fine.
Okay.
I've got a question. Is there at least enough time for a 4-hour transfer?
yes.
Okay. Well, as part of a long rest, for only 4 hours, it has to be actively transing. The rest can be just resting and not being active.
I told you couldn't get a long rest.
Okay, so but can I complete the trance under the cart and then just finish the remaining 4 hours in the cart as we move?
Yes.
Okay. That's the plan.
Well, I'll go get Amber then. And I start heading off to where I know. Have you moved? Good.
She's stubborn.
Except that when you left the last, this time you come back and there's a blanket over her.
Rowan.
What?
At the cart.
What? Oh, okay. Where's this one? This one. She grabs it and runs, starts like heading in the wrong direction.
Amber!
What?
Are you already lost?
No, it's this way, right?
No.
Oh, yes.
Follow me.
Okay.
I'm imagining single trees every meters or so, and no scrub at all.
Yeah, it's like
And
the
the
track
cart's
is
visible,
so
and she-
easy.
Yeah. Completely goes the wrong
I
direction.
have a
Yeah.
neck too to my survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean the track that you've made's crashing through the bush. It's got to be pretty bloody obvious. It's
I
just
think
like
it's for a lack of wisdom to just be like, oh, I walked that way, so I should go back that way.
right.
Imagine it's hip high grass and it's just this dwarf shaped hole in the ground leading through it to where she is.
When we get back to camp, Amber's gonna see Rowan and immediately run over to the baby camp.
I said what he's done trancing, so he just rolled out from under the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Still hasn't finished resting though, so he's very not used to having to interact with people. He just gets crushed. He goes, "Ugh."
And the only thing she says, I'm sorry, friend.
It's okay. I'm gonna go and sit down in the cart. I'm not quite gone yet.
You got an ox.
Yeah, it's just gonna be fine. I'm just gonna.
Good.
Yeah, he just sits in the corner opposite Yolin's wrapped body and just holds his head in his hands, not feeling super great for the remainder of his rest.
Good. An ox. It is not bullshit.
Can you move the filthy thing?
Can I move the filthy thing?
Yes.
It's not filthy, it's at a bath. Can't you tell?
No.
Okay. Yes, 15.
for animal handling? Yeah, the ox slowly moves off. You notice that with the ox in only being the one ox, the cart is really slow. It moves, and it moves it. How?
We push.
Yeah, kind of. You do help a little bit with pushing and whatnot, so it probably gets an extra, maybe 5 feet of movement on its speed, I guess.
What's its current speed?
Why do you ask such questions? It's just slow, alright?
Okay, fine.
What's the air to wind
You'll
velocity?
do-
Swallow.
I'm a fully laden ox cart.
You don't want
Yeah.
Depends if it's African or
American. It's European.
It's water buffalo, yeah.
Yeah.
It's water buffalo on dry land.
Yeah, I'm fine.
No one got me a drink.
Do you happen to have a straw hat?
A straw hat.
I feel the country is sitting up here with these ox with me.
No,
I need a straw hat and a piece of straw to.
I do not have a straw hat.
Oh, okay then.
If you check in the cart, there is one in there. Because when we had left the Dwarven Citadel, Rowan grew a straw barn to protect the horses, and then in the morning turned it into a hat.
It's 18 says I find it.
Yeah.
It may smell a bit fruity.
It smells like it smells Germany.
From what you remember of the maps that you've seen in this particular area, that the east road east gate that I said you guys come out of, where the caravan travels out, does sharply turn north before it travels for about 4 days or 5 days of travel between Mount Forest on one side, on the right hand side when you're traveling northish, and then there's a river on the left hand side that it travels in between. However, after, as I said, about 5 days of travel out from here, then it sharply turns right in the direction that they go, but they are purposely going right to avoid going through the Fey Forest. Because after the Fey Forest, once you've gotten through the Fey Forest, then you head into what they call the Bone Valley. Once you've headed through the Bone Valley, then you'll head into the Black City. Traditionally, this was the route that most of the travellers took before Musalon took over. But now you've heard many things about the Bone Valley, and even the name of itself tells you a good portion of what the rumours are about. However, you guys have
Both
decided.
on the way, aren't they? So if
Sorry?
we go through the Fey Forest, we're going to end up in the Bone Valley.
Correct.
And if you skip the forest, you end up in the Bone Valley?
If you skip the forest, you will also go around the outside of the Bone Valley as well, and you essentially come in. So if you go through the Bone Valley, you will come into the Black City from the southeast. But if you go around, you'll be coming in from the northeast.
And it takes 3 times as long.
Not quite as 3 times, but it's still a good.
2.5
You've probably got another month of travel, give or take. It'll probably take about 6 to 7 weeks if you go the long route.
It took us a year of real time to get through 4 months.
Yeah.
I've got the map out. We have a map, don't we?
You do, but I can't show you at this time because I
I've
haven't
got
set it
the-
up.
I've got the map out
I
sitting
can.
in the... Yeah, it's okay. I've got the map out sitting in... Fuck.
However, going out the north gate, you are travelling close to the river itself. Where you are currently, you reckon you're about 2-3 hours away from the river itself. But the more you travel directly north, the more it will coincide with the river and you'll touch the river.
Imperius, come look at this
What?
map.
Yes.
We can go around these, and the Rowan's only gonna want to go through the forest, isn't he?
We should go through the forest. It's the fastest route.
Well, I agree with you, and it also gives us the advantage of no one else will follow us. But it's the Fey Forest and the Bone Valley.
You guys would both know that Amber would not like either of those places.
Amber,
What?
come look at this.
Okay. Oh, a map. Where are we?
Here,
Ah,
read the names north of us.
north. Ooh, don't like the sound of that place. North is up, right? there's nothing else up. Or do you mean these places over here?
Yes,
No, I don't like that place either.
we're going through them.
Do we have to?
If you don't like them, other people won't like them either. Therefore, they won't follow us.
That's really good logic. Yes, but
We have no choice. If we go around, it will take months, and people will pass more patrols, and people will probably alert the Black City of what we did in Montanoil as well.
We can't delay anymore. We've already taken a little long, too long. We need to deal with this situation.
It's not ideal, but
Maybe we can. This is me peering. Maybe we can get some allies in the Fey Forest. I don't know, some walking trees or something.
yes, either that or we can get killed.
no,
No.
I'm getting too down.
fine, we can. You guys know better than me. I don't trust anything that's mildly superstitious.
I don't either. I was just giving you a warning.
Fair.
So, have you decided to join us then?
What is your story? Who are you, really?
I'm a cleric.
At the moment, who cares?
I do.
I can't.
Fine. Hear him out then.
If you're going to be traveling with us, even for a short while, I'd like to know who you are. You came to greet us at the prison, and then later on you save us? I'm very confused.
Because of your actions within the city, my position there was not great anymore, and I had to move on. You'd destroyed any chance I had of breaking their operation from the inside, so it was either wait for them to send the clerics from the Black City to come and resurrect Rowena and Sai, and then wait for punishment, or leave. I decided to leave.
Good enough.
So you have not answered my question though. Are you joining with us?
I will
Yes,
join
no.
you for now. I need some guidance from Kalambor first.
Who?
When you say.
My god.
Ah, another one.
Yes, he's another good.
You
When
are
you
aware
say.
there are many of them.
I know, I can't keep track.
When you say break the operation apart from the inside, were you acting on some of the orders?
Yes, my temples.
Now
My
that's
temple have been at war with the undead for quite some time,
We?
but we do not have the numbers to face them head on. We cannot destroy them as armies fight one another.
That's because they keep coming back.
Where is your temple?
Back east.
East. How far?
Oh, quite far from here.
As in? Continents,
The other
miles?
further east than where we came from.
Back near where the biggest problem we had was the people with elongated teeth.
Ah,
And the closest allies we had were the Order and a group of thieves and murderers.
so welcome to the
Long-
new group of thieves and murderers then.
I'm hoping I can change that.
Speak for yourself, I haven't stolen anything.
I'm just like imperious. You know that sketch of the meteor?
Yes.
You're handling stolen goods.
No!
Putting all in his pocket.
Dives back into the cart to try and find it.
And just burns it.
Evidence!
What? I do what I must just as much as anyone else. Don't use that judgmental face with me.
I'm not being judgmental. People go through hard times.
Shh, I think he ate you.
I heard you.
Come on, let's
Yes, I
move.
will travel with you for now because there is something I need to see in the Black City at least.
Antoine, can you make this bloody... What the fuck is it?
It's an ox.
An ox.
Yes, an ox.
Right. Can you make it move faster?
I can try. No.
Okay,
I rolled 16, but I'm like, no.
The ox starts moving with the caravan again, and it's slower than it was before. It's still moving, and you're getting somewhere, and you can walk beside it, but it's
Hey, Randy,
slow.
if you take this carrot and walk in front of it, it might chase you.
I walk up
that sounds
by
like
it and poke it with a dagger in the
Oh my
arms.
god.
Oh.
One piece of burden.
Randy,
move faster!
Randy, if you hamstring it, we are getting nowhere.
Fine. And I put it away.
Throw the carrot.
I walk up and slap it on the ass, like just to scare it, make it panic a
Please
bit.
let it kick you in the face.
Roll an animal handling check for me.
What you get?
19.
Nice!
Damn.
It manages to move.
He handles the animal quite well.
Plus 3, 22.
It
Makes moving.
makes a huge noise, and then starts moving a little bit faster. So now you just now it's at normal walking pace.
It smacks its lips and
What
nose
does it
gets
say? In response to the slap.
I can't see behind him. So I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Good enough.
I'm gonna go back.
My ass.
Really? I'm trying to rest. Are you being mean to? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes. I don't know.
Yes, I don't know.
No. He's I don't know.
Who?
Who's I don't know?
No, not who. I don't know.
I don't know who I don't know is.
I don't know. It's the ox.
Why is it called
Right.
I don't know?
Who's on first, everybody? This continues on.
Where
for a
did
good hour.
With Rayleigh just being as obstinate as possible.
If we get another one, we're calling it who.
Yes.
Who goes first and I don't know goes second. That's right.
That's it. Yeah.
Just refusing to answer the question in increasingly vague wordplay.
No, you call it one. You call one. I don't know. You call one. You call the other one. I don't fucking know. All right, you guys.
I don't know when I don't fucking-
Yeah. All right, so you guys head off. After halfway through the morning, you hear in the distance the river that you are starting to intersect with.
Wait, halfway to the morning.
In the morning, so a couple of hours.
Okay. We're just there, like eyes half closed, just like tracing his finger
That's
across,
what we can put on half
across the grain of the wood of the
sorcerer.
cart.
Mhm.
Just in chill.
You travel on for quite a bit more, gets to about midday, and you can now see the river on your left-hand side. It's at a bit of a distance, but you can see it, and you can see it's coming towards you, essentially running in that direction, so running to where you've been coming from, so heading back towards Montanoil. And otherwise, you just pay it no heed. You travel on.
I stink.
You all stink.
It is time to swim.
I think it is a good idea for us to have
How fast is the water?
Let's hope the halfling doesn't realize he still has his water walking ring on and like goes to dive
That
in
is not.
face plants straight and just slides across the water.
We're actually in open area, so it's still a little bit farmlandish and open area and whatnot. So it's not traveling too fast.
Apparently I do.
But it's still a pretty brisk river travelling.
So,
But yeah, not a huge current.
Until someone casts one person on you and then you float off down like a log. You win some, you lose some.
Around midday, as we can see the river, I think Rowan's finished his long rest. And I have new spells
Rowan,
that I prepared.
yes.
As Rowan is just there in the back doing sort of like minority report nonsense, just like waving his hands around with his eyes closed, trying to figure out what to prepare for the day.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Play the text.
What is this minority report you said?
Yes, okay.
No, Junior.
All right, you guys travel on for a bit more. Probably about a couple more hours after lunch. You are pretty close to the river now, to the point when the direct travelling north has to veer off to the right ever so slightly.
Rowan just kind of stands up and
Cracks it.
cracks everything and goes, okay.
You basically
Act one, we turn left.
Why?
according to the map, you just have to keep following the river.
Exactly. So turn left into the river.
Why?
You're kind of already there, but yeah.
We can take the river.
What?
I designed this to be amphibious.
Oh, right.
With the
no.
ox down?
Well, hang on, and I get out and have a look at it. Is it going to survive a river?
It's taken some damage.
Yeah,
had
it's
back-
pretty belted.
I mean,
And it was only sort of waterproofed in the first place. It wasn't
was-
a boat.
it was good enough to handle, I think, rivers, just not open ocean. Was it
Swamps, not rivers.
So yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm just going.
Not to mention, he's right. How's an ox gonna swim?
I just prepared water walk.
He's the ox going, I'm not going on that. And then I can't get any traction.
I'm looking at the bottom of the card at the moment. Can I check it out?
Go for it.
What am I doing?
Do an investigate roll,
Absolute garbage.
which becomes.
Less than 1.
It looks fine. It looks like it'll be fine.
What are you talking about? It's not less than 1. You've got a plus
Oh,
5.
okay. Sorry, 7.
It looks like it'll be fine.
Hey, really? Does it need some coke?
It inherently makes me feel nervous. I don't know why, but it looks like the cart will hold up.
I mean, if it starts to leak, we can just turn back off, right?
Or it sinks.
We're that
Would
way.
it be worth risking losing your limb?
How deep is the river?
How deep is your love?
Ooh.
Is your love how deep is your
Now look what
love?
you've done. You said
I really need your love because we're living in a world
you
of
activated his
fools.
trap card.
You know what? You know what? We can test this. Have you got a bucket?
Me? No.
Anyone?
I'm sure we have one in the car.
You have hands.
I need more water than that. Is there a bucket around? In the cart?
We gave
You guys never had a bucket in the car. Sorry?
We did.
No, we don't.
No. Okay.
We have a chest.
Yeah, you do have a chest.
But that's where.
Too
But
heavy.
that's where Antoine sleeps.
Well, if you pour water in the center of the, I'll tell you what. I'll say put it on the river. It seems fine. Just do it.
I have no iron pot. Do I count? Is it good enough?
Well, if you pour water out on the floor and it seeps out the bottom of the cart, you'll be able to tell if it's leaking.
I could attempt to mend it, but it would take some time.
No, you
Time
just
that we
need
don't
coke.
have.
Well,
But I don't
Coke.
have any.
Yes, you put coke in the gas.
Well, I don't have any, do I?
Well, it's not my fault.
can you mend it?
Then
Christian.
wait next time.
Christian, are you using your phone?
Depends how bad the damage is.
Are you using your phone?
No, it doesn't have much battery left.
Okay.
Oh, are we struggling?
It's like dropped out 6 times in the last 5 minutes.
It is fine.
Just plug your phone in.
Yeah, for some reason it doesn't actually
Get enough charge.
get charged while it's
Sure.
doing its
Yeah, it's using too much power and it doesn't charge enough.
54. I'm going to carry the car.
Well, mine won't do it.
I only asked Christian because I know he's on Telstra as well.
No, I'm on Burford.
Why can you get...
I'm on top.
sorry, you're on Telstra, yeah.
Is it hotspot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to plug it in. Unless he's got a Wi-Fi adapter.
I've got a cable.
You do have the adapter though, don't you?
We should take a break in a minute.
Yeah.
Is it break time, is it? Yeah, well, let's do that. Let's take a break,
And we'll fix the internet.
and we'll fix the internet a bit better than what
And
I've
we'll
got
fix that
currently.
bit, and then we shall ride it like
No,
the wind.
the cart was only built for swamps. Wasn't built for rivers.
I honestly can't remember.
So
No, it was.
I'll
I
egg
do
you on
remember.
saying, yeah, it looks fine. If you reckon it'll go on a river, it'll totally go on a river. But I can tell you right now, it wasn't built for that.
Alright, we'll be back in about 15 minutes, folks.
You should also put a leather. Actually.
Welcome back, everyone.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, everybody.
We're about to make a big mistake.
Someone knocked the camera again.
Oh no!
Chris,
Other way, other way, other way.
Oh. Oh.
That.
Woo! Now you're on a slight angle and it looks cool.
Jaunty. I love it.
Sideways.
That way.
It's our gangster DM.
Yes. I'm also sideways now.
No!
Is this what happens when we're in the cart on the river?
My heart will go on.
No.
You,
Not reenacting Titanic.
you have...
Well, we might if it sinks.
That's the very wrong thing you should be seeing when you're on the river.
Hmm.
You got to do it right. For some reason, I can't remember what the right thing is. Because it involves a young kid and a slave who was on a river raft.
And a banjo.
Tom Sawyer, thank you, that's the one.
Did I just think of Steamboat Willie?
Alright. You guys are travelling along and you're basically starting to transport yourselves across or beside the river. You don't actually need to go across the river. And you've decided that you want to cast water walk on the oxen.
And everybody else in the party, because I can.
Okay.
Though it is more of a field test.
Anyone want to investigate the deepness of the river?
Sure.
I'm going to get out of the cart,
And?
walk across it. One
How
minute.
heavy is the car?
Very.
Where's your leg when you need it?
In the
I'll
cart.
tell you the card!
So
Her strength buddy's gone.
for full disclosure,
Yuck.
I've not actually cast the spell yet. For convenience sake, I will, unless we're in dire peril, I will only ever cast it as a ritual, so it takes 10 minutes.
Fine, 10 minutes passes by and you cast your ritual.
But before I start, I ask for the consent of the ox.
Consent of the ox.
Yes, because the target has to be willing.
Roland,
Yes?
why are we travelling on the river?
I mean, it'll leave no tracks. It's actually kind of smart.
Fair enough.
And if we travel up the river, it just goes away from the road. And I would be expecting it.
Alright, fair logic.
Does the river go to the Black City?
I pull out the map, does it?
It goes up more north and, as you need it to, so it's essentially you'd be travelling along the side of the river anyway. So in this particular case, instead of travelling beside it, you'll be travelling in the river. It will go through the Fey Forest, but after the Fey Forest, you'll have to get out.
Alright.
Yes. So it might speed up our journey just slightly.
I don't know. Would you like to be able to walk on water?
You walk on the stuff I drink.
Yes.
How would I drink it?
You can still drink it.
But I'm walking on it.
Yes. Both.
Ox has existential
Yeah. How can I walk on something that I drink? It will go into my mouth. You're saying that my feet will now go into my mouth because I can walk on it at the same time I drink it?
No.
No, sir, I don't like it.
You don't want to walk on water?
If I drink the water and try and walk it at the same time, there seems to be a problem there.
There's not, trust me.
Roll persuasion roll.
I hope it's better.
That is actually not bad. That is an 18 minus 2.
Alright, I'll walk on this water that I drink.
Until it
I then take the 10 minutes.
I'm taking way too many liberties with his animal talking at the moment.
Oh, I just like that the animals are actually talking back and not just mooing at me.
That's why they should be mooing at you.
But it's so much more fun if there's actual conversation.
If they don't understand like high-level concepts.
That's fair.
They also don't understand a lot of
I mean,
human
an ox is not a dolphin. It's not intelligent. A dolphin might
Yeah, but they don't understand
It's a dolphin,
like
yeah.
any of our
Dolphin.
concepts.
If you manage to talk to a dolphin, it'll be telling you to leave the planet because, you know, some invaders from space are going to take over for a highway.
It'll thank you for all the fish too.
Yeah, thank you all fish, yeah.
I can't walk
Everyone can now walk on the water.
for an hour.
But before we try this, can I, Antoine?
Me?
Do you think you and I would be capable of lifting the car? Just in case.
Maybe?
Can we just test to see if we can lift the cart? Not move it anywhere, just like
Yeah,
lift
you
it
can
off
lift
the
it.
ground and see if it actually we're able to.
Roll athletics checks.
Why do we want to?
Oh my.
What is that? 19? No, yeah, 19.
8.
19?
You're a wonder too.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a hernia?
A little comes out as I'm heaving so hard.
That's not what I meant.
Little nugget.
Rattles around.
I come over here and help as well with my 15.
I mean, I can try again. I think I'm just too exhausted.
Where? You rested.
I know, but in general, it would make sense. She's still pretty hectic over the last few days.
Remember, it's going to fill with water if it sinks, so it's going to be heavier.
We're not
Well,
trying
I
to
mean-
lift it down the river if it sinks.
If we're
No.
pulling it, it might be better.
I had the idea that maybe, just maybe, we could gently lower it onto the water and see, so that we're not, trying to pull it out of a sinking. Never mind. I can't lift this. My back's too sore, thing. I've got a concussion. I have never been this sober in my life.
What we can do is take some rope, or even with the ox, maybe back it into the water to see if it floats.
I'm very curious. The ox can walk on water, but the cart can't. If the cart sinks, what happens to the
I'm
ox?
waiting for someone pick that up.
Oh, I picked it up immediately.
Yeah,
So
I
did
picked it
I.
up
Where was
too.
I
I
gonna
just
think
don't
of that?
care.
It gets a bit of strain.
The ox drowns.
No, it doesn't. It walks on water.
It gets a bit of
And
strain.
it's
Not getting
go
pulled down
down.
by a cart.
If the cart's being pulled down into the water, but it's attached to the actual ox, then
You-
essentially it will be dragged into hard ground. Essentially, that's how it would be treated. Because it's essentially like walking on the water, like it's a solid surface.
So in
the
other words,
ox-
the ox is going to slow down and probably collapse.
The ox-
Yes, and probably would be crushed under the weight of the cart falling into the river.
Right, so either way, the ox is dead.
Amber is like, huh. So she's gonna go grab her rope
Mm-hmm.
and start dropping it into the water to see how deep it is.
Okay. Roll an investigate check for me with advantage.
They were both terrible rolls, so
And
I was going to say, you realise that the rope is just floating on the top.
you would have it not on the end, so it'd be a bit heavier.
yeah, no, put the rock.
That's not how density works.
True. If you tie enough knots, and it depends how thick the
No.
rope is.
No,
It does
no,
get heavy.
It's
No, that's-
still going to be dragged by the
You
current.
reckon?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Wrap
it's
it-
still the same
Alright.
density.
Tie a rock around it.
Anyway,
You
a 10.
10. Okay.
You
Yeah.
pull a natural amber.
It doesn't seem to go too deep. This is so hard doing a poker face because of their bad rolls, and they've all got to play the
This is
bad
a
rolls.
20-foot deep stream.
How wide is the river?
I'm looking at her like she's a screaming idiot. Because
She is a human idiot. Oh, she's a dwarven idiot.
Mhm.
And she's like, oh, that's not that deep. And then stick her hand down and see how far her hand goes. Like expecting the hand to just hit the white floor like this far down.
How
You get-
vigorously do
You get
do that?
distracted by the fact that as soon as you put your hand in, because of the physics and dispersion of water, your hand kind of like goes, instead of going the right direction you expect it to go, it kind of like goes, woo! You know how you put it in water and it looks like it goes off at a weird angle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you even put your hand in the water if you're water walking?
Yeah. It's walk.
Oh, okay. So only your feet.
Yeah.
What happens if you're falling upside down? Are you stuck upside down and like drowning?
you walk on the undersurface of the water.
It's like flipped upside down,
Not quite.
like one of those floaties when a kid's in them and flips upside down and they drown.
No, but
I feel like this is a question
No.
to pose to the audience. What do you think?
Unfortunately, there's probably no one left in the audience because of all the dropouts.
but, like, how actually deep is it? Because she's trying to, like, does she,
It's
like...
deeper than that. Deeper than your whole arm.
Which, granted, is not very deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's probably, like,
Half your height.
2.5 feet.
Going
2
by
feet.
going by the
That's what I was
map
thinking.
as you look at it, you're about you're at slightly above the halfway mark of the river. So you're at probably the deeper and wider section of the river itself.
Do you really want to do this, Ron?
It did sustain quite a bit of damage from the guards.
I thought that was just the signs.
Whatever,
underneath
throw it
or
in
the
and
side?
let's see what happens.
I tell you what, I have installed a new sound set specifically for sailing along the river. So let's go see what that's all about.
Yeah, it's gonna be dying and screaming
I was gonna.
and gurgling, bubbling.
Is it just like the alarm sound from this?
Hang on, let's have a listen. That's not going to kick in, is it? All right, let's listen to this one. Sailing by day. As you slowly put the ox and the cart onto the river.
Did you ask for the cat's consent before you cast water walk on it?
I didn't cast it on the car.
Ooh! No, that's a bad idea.
Walk under the cart, crawl under it.
I was like, you can just carry the cart, you know. Anyway. But if you get enough animals and cast enough water hog on them,
We're going to have a lot of animals.
it's a very Amber idea.
You're thinking like the cart becomes a pelican?
Effectively.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like it's not sinking.
Sounds like I was telling
Seem to be doing all right.
I keep it close, like directly next to the bank at all
Mhm.
times, because if right by the bank is deep enough for Amber's arm to just go in, then there should be enough room for the wheels to just free spin.
Are you on top of the cart like you normally are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who's walking beside the cart?
I am leading the ox from the front, so I'm walking along next to it, being like, "See, this is fine. You can walk on this and drink it. It's the best of both worlds, isn't it?"
I am literally skipping along.
Amber's at the back.
On water.
Yes.
I'm skipping along doing cartwheels.
And when you put your hands through, they just go, oh shit!
I was gonna say you do a cartwheels.
There's a ring of water walk in my hand. Does it count with one hand? Water walk?
I like that. Okay, so
Wait, if you put it on your toe, then wouldn't it think your hands are your feet?
We make progress.
You make progress.
You can walk on your hands.
I hope.
Can I check the inside of the car?
Damn it. Everyone make perception checks first.
Because Amber is very worried about Yolan.
I can see through time and through the planks, apparently.
22.
Thank God some other people did.
Natural
Develop
20
that
plus
one.
22.
I've been looking all night.
What are we doing? Perception?
I'm gonna 11.
16.
Alright. What did you get, Riley?
22.
What did you get?
Natural 20 plus 2.
Okay, so the two 22s, sorry, 18. Okay, starting off, the first thing you notice, especially because you're on the top of the cart anyway, so are you, is that while the cart itself seems to be okay with floating on the water, a cart is inherently not designed for buoyancy. So because you two are on the top creating a large amount of weight up the top of the actual cart itself, it's starting to sway side to side.
Alright, I'm going to try and balance it while standing on the top by moving my body left and right.
Okay. As
So
you start
that's
doing
gotta be
that,
acrobatics. I
yes.
think. Yeah. Ooh, I'm human determination. Nice shit. Or luck.
luck, yeah.
Luck.
You can't luck a luck roll.
It
You
can't
can't luck
stack.
a luck roll. No, it's right. It doesn't
Okay, with acrobatics it's a 10.
stack. Well, you actually, with your acrobatics, managed to sort of get the swaying going, so you can sort of go with it and keep yourself steady. What you're not really paying attention to, because you think you're so proud of yourself for being able to do this, is that the sway is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you're doing
Stop rocking the birds.
Sorry.
it. Can you do me an acrobatic check as well?
Yes. 11.
And you would turn around and tell him to stop, and you fall off. You fall off. You've also got water walk as well.
I know, but it's on my feet.
That's true. So you go splash into the water in your plate mail, or in your split mail.
I walk over to where he is and just sort of like reach down into the water.
Yep.
Dragging out this
Roll an
public-
athletics roll.
Athletics? I don't have proficiency in that anymore.
He's not going to die not now.
I would.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's 16.
That's not too bad. You managed to pull him out before he gets too much into the water itself.
I would still be checking inside the cart to see if it's leaking.
It is leaking because of the twisting and the lapping to the side, left and right, because of Rayleigh trying to do the balancing thing on top of it.
My bad.
That while the bottom of it is reasonably watertight, the rest of it isn't.
Oh. So it's escaping out of the sides.
Correct.
No.
Which is thus putting a bit more weight into it and making it sink a little bit further down.
So it makes that worse.
After Rayleigh, get off.
Oops. I jump off.
You wouldn't have known.
What did you do in your D&D game? Watch them try and drive a cart through a river.
Is there anything we can do about this?
Fail.
Shall we get back on land?
Yeah.
Rowan, can't you do the thing where you make us not leave tracks?
Not anymore.
Oh.
I didn't prepare that spell today.
So we went on the river.
An hour.
What an hour of time.
So you got an hour of water walking, or you could have just an hour of pass without trace.
Yeah, but I can't cast Pass Without Trace as a ritual.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, let's get off the water.
What we
Okay.
need to do is make little boats for all of the wheels. Hang on, this is Amber, Little boats for all of the wheels and, attach them so they don't, go around. And then...
I tell you what, bro, I like that idea. How about we put like six bolts on the wheel so they actually turn on top of the water?
It's a matter of buoyancy. We need flotation. We need barrels of air on the side or something on the side that will create buoyancy.
Barrels of air, actually, that's not bad.
That's genuinely
Why didn't you
how
say
you
that?
would solve this problem.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
didn't we think of this prior? We could have done that.
With DD players.
I was not consulted into construction.
Wait, the last time I saw barrels, they killed Yolan.
Looks away and walks.
I'm gonna I will leave the ox back on.
Vengeance paladin against barrels.
You lead the ox back onto the land and don't have much more trouble beyond that. Yes.
Does the cart come to?
Yes.
Okay.
I climb back up.
This is all about comedy value more than anything else.
Thank you for humouring me.
Rowan, we will design this properly and advance.
Okay.
Increase technology.
See, just complete. Maybe we need to go back to the working board.
Okay. I'm gonna sit back down on the back of the cart with just like my legs hanging at the back and trying to attract a bird.
Okay.
And I cast Animal Messenger. I'm sending this back.
Sorry. That reminded me that the raven did come back in the morning.
No, okay.
I'm going to send this to Montanoil.
Mm-hmm.
To. God, I can't even recall her name, it's so embarrassing.
Yes.
The
Your
girl
love
I was
interest?
due to walk about with.
She's sitting in the corner. She's sitting in her shop, just like sewing another thing out.
Ah, yes. Farah Salathdell. Yes. So it is being sent to Farah. Since it is the duration of a message, but it can be 25 words. So he's just going to say,
My dearest Theo.
no. It is sorry. You may hear things about me. Some are true.
Stop.
I wish you well. Your clothes are very warm.
I feel like wherever you write, like, wherever just the bird can only remember 25 words. So, like, if you write more than 25 words, it just says the first 25 and goes, that's it, I don't remember the rest.
He understands.
Or if it works like a bad message system and only does the last 25 words.
Oh, God. And I regret to inform you.
Thank you for your time.
But what about the date?
That is 24 words. And so, cast the spell, sends it off to Farah.
The bird flies off.
Okay.
And then the eagle appears.
No!
And
And
no me.
I'm just going to double check to see whether or not I can cast that as a ritual, because if I can, I did.
Animal messenger. I don't think you can. I don't think it is a ritual one.
It actually is a ritual, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I take the time to cast it as a ritual.
I'm gonna have to use that more often myself
Yeah, it's great.
to move the party along.
Send a bird in, you're like, guys, what's up? Just go.
It's like a bird, just like, Jesus Christ, guys, come on, move on.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
No, this is how I'm missing your bird messages appear. Just smack into the side of the car.
Fun. I'm gonna remind you that there's a you do that. You put your head in front of me.
It's so Rowan that
It's a big hairy monster.
at no point in this message is his name, but it is spoken in his voice.
Yep.
When it arrives.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll understand when she gets it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, the heartbreaker.
the heartbreaker so falls apart and cries herself to sleep at night.
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker.
Right, you guys are traveling along the side of the river again. You're no longer actually traveling inside on the river itself. You still have water walk on you, but you've decided that no, it's not worth it because this thing wasn't planned out as well as you
I
thought.
mean, that doesn't mean some of us aren't running around on the water.
Oh yeah,
that
you're
we can now
probably
walk on.
enjoying it
Oh,
like no
God.
tomorrow.
And it's just going to be walking along the water, and then when the hour runs out, there's
Thankfully, I don't wear armor.
Sorry.
You're probably waiting for it. You're like running around on the river. When's this hour going to end? When's this hour going to end? When's this hour going to end?
When's he coming up?
Yeah. Amber's not afraid of water. Like, she loves water.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Her beak keeps it going.
And
No,
since
the
Rowan,
nest! Oh wait, no, we buried that with the dead bird.
and since Rowan cast the spell, he knows exactly when it's going to run out. So as it's about to run out, he has his rope out ready, and it's just like.
You guys keep traveling along, and basically you've got the river at your side. The best thing about this is at least you've got some fresh cold water that you can chuck into your water skins and stuff like that and refresh yourselves a bit. You stop for lunch for the briefest of moments, knowing that you're really going to keep traveling to sort of get yourselves paced ahead of these people. Most of the farms have mostly disappeared now, and you're sort of like in open grasslands. You can see forests as you're traveling along, but not forests per se, but bunches of trees here and there. You see sparse ones all by themselves, or a large clump of them here and there as you're going along. However, mostly it's uneventful, and you're traveling along the river. You notice as you're traveling more north that the river is starting to become thinner, not as rushed, but in some places more rushed, where it collects on particular rocks and filters through. But as you're getting further and further up, the river has stopped being that big, wide river that you can swim down and becoming more of a trickle as you're going further north. The day ends again. You pack it in for the night. This time you decide that you could probably get away with the fire because you haven't seen anything of anyone following you so far. Perhaps you think that maybe because of their secluded themselves in this particular town, that you have a means to get away from the town itself because they don't want to leave it, irrelevant of what the scenario that's happened.
Before all of this sort of happens, after Ember sort of falls in the lake, she goes to the river and she pulls herself out. She'll shake off a bit and then go to the cart where Rowan is and go, Rowan?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What about?
Not telling you sooner about Yolan. I didn't know that you didn't know.
Yeah. He just stares. Not really wherever he is.
I just
So
look
you
over.
look up.
Have I gathered or overheard that?
That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll say I have.
You heard your name of this.
Do what must be done, just like Yolan did. I needed to keep you all safe, and the safest way to keep Rowan is to keep him functional.
What?
What he means is the...
I didn't need to break down in the middle of the city when we were in shit.
You still should have told me.
Well, you know now.
We should trust each other. We've been through a lot.
I've lost people before. Why would you assume I would just fall apart? Did you have such little faith in me?
I'm gonna insight check that. Who?
You're gonna have to roll for it.
Come on. Alright. Well, no. But insight checking to see if it was a person particularly close to him, if it was related or anything like that. Can I tell by the way you said that?
400 years ago.
You can probably just tell if I'm lying or not from
How
inside.
about you ask them first and then inside?
There. Who?
Do you know them?
No shit.
He doesn't answer besides that.
I apologize then. Next time I'll be more forthcoming.
Good.
Imperius didn't know either for similar reasons. I didn't know how any of you would react. I apologize to him as well.
Oh, you want to know how I knew? He died at my feet. How do you think I feel?
Antoine told me while we were in jail.
You aren't responsible, Antoine.
I know his actions were his own, but I thought he would to. I don't know.
The reality
I
is...
expected him to run or surrender or something, not just throw his life away.
The reality is we are walking into an increasingly dangerous area. If more of us die, so be it, but chances are some of us will. Either we spend time grieving and possibly more of us die quicker, or we move on and we stay working.
Don't worry, Rowan. We all live on in each other's memories.
We can still grieve and
As long as you
Still
don't
be
forget
functional.
Yoland, you'll never really be gone.
Even if we survive, you'll die centuries before I do.
Perhaps.
I'll be there around for a little while.
Nothing is certain, Rowan.
we can just cut your life short.
No!
But if he wants to die sooner, so that he hangs around with us.
No, it's I want to make their peace with the mortality of the mortal races.
Who wants to live forever, you're awry, Rowan?
It's just rules.
It's not forever. It's just more.
It's too long.
It's long enough.
Uplings live short and fast lives.
It took me 200 years to grow up. It's not long for me.
Right.
Oh, we only grow up to 3 feet, so we grow up quite quick.
Anyways, let's move.
Rowan? Some of the flowers and graves got ruined in the prison. Maybe you could help me fix it up.
Okay.
Actually, I apologize, Amber, but wouldn't it be better if Rowan uses his skills to disguise this cart a little bit? Make it look like a traveling druid or something.
I guess?
You've probably got enough wood in this area to probably make the pie that you want. A lot of dead trees and stumps and so on forth on the side of the river. A few
Shall
dead
we?
falls here and there.
Well, after hearing what Antoine said, all things considered, like assuming that some of this dialogue occurred, like this dialogue occurred a bit more towards the evening as we were still traveling, then we'll take a moment and just like sit down at the front of the cart next to Antoine and just like put a hand around him and just like lean his head all the way down to the top of his head just for a while.
Okay. I like others. Others are good.
You start gathering some wood, I assume? For
I'll
those
do
of
that.
you.
Once we get to camp, yeah.
Well,
I've just
you're
rolled
pretty
5
much in
times
the
out
camp
of 10,
area.
so I don't think we'll be doing much.
I start up and gathering.
Takes you probably an hour or two to gather wood. You're not 100% sure what the time has passed, but it's not
It
a
takes a
big
while
issue.
because we're not allowed to cut down trees.
I left the Cursadana with Yolan while I'm gathering wood.
And Rowan is like is actively moving around. Just like he knows this fire is inevitable. So basically, if you see somebody move something that shouldn't be moved, like if it has an animal habitat in it or under it, or anything like that,
Something that will probably take you about an hour to do now takes a tree.
he's just recording like going, no,
Really?
not that one, that one.
Can I borrow the bag for a moment?
Why?
I need some stuff from it.
Sure. Toss it to you.
I would like to attempt to make a sprayer.
Sprayer?
Yes.
Wait.
Kind of like, you know, the
Wait.
old movie style pesticide things that they used to spray with.
What are you trying to do with it?
Movie star. No, actually.
Oil.
To do what? To make a flamethrower, right?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Not like an excessively prolonged thing, but it's something that will hopefully last long enough to
So do the
do what we
funeral
need to
rites.
do.
Oh yeah, because if you turn it inside out, it's kind of just explode that one.
What?
Yeah.
Imperious?
Mhm.
You know, like,
No, I'm not going to use the bag itself for it. I'm using the components and stuff that I found at the.
Oh.
Alright, well, roll me a tinkering roll.
I will cast guidance on myself first.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know I need it. Based off the last time. With just proficiency, that is a 19.
See, I was going
Alright.
to have this conversation with you first, but you went straight into the hand sprayer.
You managed to actually find the bits you think you need to make this thing, and you spend a bit of time while they're gathering wood to basically put it together.
This is going to end fabulously.
Speaking of,
Over-engineering.
speaking
I was
of,
going to
we're
say,
carrying too much junk in that bag. We should throw some things out.
Like ant carapaces.
Do we really need bullet plates? We don't have a crafter. No one here can make armor.
Maybe we can sell them.
Is it worth it?
Might be.
I'd like to keep one.
Yeah.
We could
And I
potentially.
pull out probably about 10 kilos worth of bullet plates, struggling to hold it, and just hoof it in your direction. You carry it there.
We could potentially use it as armor plating for the cart temporarily.
I think that was the aim in the long run.
That was
an
the
idea.
idea.
Can you strap it on with vines?
Is there some natural kind of blue stuff that we could make?
Yes, but it involves killing animals first.
Can't make plant like
Because that's how you get glue.
Like the 5 silver coins that I have and start shaving them down into dust.
I'm gonna
It's 25 gold pieces worth of silver.
see.
250 silver pieces.
Well, that's fine then, because in that loot we got from the Orc army, I have 700 silver pieces.
I may ask this. Do I have to shave it down, or can I just use the coins themselves?
You can break it down.
I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm not sure what you were making, but you know at festivals and stuff there's people that they spew liquid that they set on fire.
No, yes. The fire breathers, yes.
Do you have any of that liquid?
Oh shit.
Yorlin has some oil, yes.
Would that look?
I'm not sure. I've never done it myself. I'm not much of an entertainer.
Would Amber know, being an alchemist,
Not as much of an entertainer.
How to
except
create-
because I'm a bad person.
fire breathing?
A potion of fire breathing?
No, not a potion of
No,
fire
no, no,
breathing.
just the like acrobatic display of fire breathing.
You probably know enough to refine oil a little bit to be able to give you that type of stuff.
Or make some kind of alcohol.
Or an alcohol sometimes.
Yeah, like an alcohol, alchemy,
Oh my God,
potion.
this tastes
fire-
terrible.
Dragon fire alcohol in his bag.
Amber knows. Amber doesn't want to loot his body. That is her sign of respect towards him.
So,
Someone who's more practical.
while people have been gathering up. No, not of that.
No.
You tossed plates. Oh, Rowan has a shield.
Mhm.
It's honestly like the nearest comparative to how it's designed is your one. I've seen your on shield. That's made of leather. It kind of just covers like this area, and it's kind of like a punchy shield.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a small shield. Yeah,
Like, the
So-
fight shield.
He tries to find a plate that is
I've got 10 dinner plate size.
similar in like curvature.
Do you have like one big one as well?
Yeah.
I've got 2 long pieces and 10 dinner plate size.
So
You can probably grab 2 dinner plate size ones, and that
You
would
could
be
even use 2 or 3, like we have no other use for
It's
them.
gonna be freaking heavy though.
Yeah, fair.
Like, it's pure steel effectively.
For you and your purposes, you could probably, with a bit of time, fashion the plates into a shield if that's what you want to do.
yeah, but yeah, just
Will we need all 10 plates?
what-
No,
what-
Probably.
So
Probably three at max, yeah.
So he just
Alright.
he takes a moment, kind of just like does some mental arithmetic, and then scoops them up and stores them in the cart.
Alright, I've given you 3 of them then.
Yes.
Overhearing their conversation about fire breathing, I'm pretty sure I can make that fluid.
You probably already have some. It's just, you would just use an alcohol of some particular type.
I mean, this would probably just do the trick. Do you know how to fire breathe?
No. There's only one way to learn.
I've seen the circus once.
What, they only managed to do it once and then they died?
No.
He could only
But,
sneak his way in.
Would I be able to make some more?
Eventually, yeah.
Just like from what we have, like potions and alcohol and...
Usually, because like you basically want a high flash point alcohol, so that when you light it, it just whoosh type deal. So you make this stuff on a regular basis as one of the bases for making your potions.
Okay, so I would have some like on hand. Okay.
It's a
But
base
it's
component, right?
It's not like it's going to do anything damage-wise, but it's something that might create...
Flashpoint fire.
Yeah. And hopefully if sustained for long enough, we'll set something on fire.
perhaps yeah.
Not something
If
that
you
will
cover
work
him in
combat.
oil as well.
Most
not
of it is
something that will work in
that
combat, just something for the effect of this.
yeah, when the alcohol is basically distilled in such a point that is kind of like a flash fire sort of thing, it generally doesn't light anything on fire. It basically burns itself out before it actually sets anything hot enough to burn.
Unless you do it onto oil or onto something.
Even then, depends on what the alcohol is made out of and oil, because oil and alcohol, oil and water, even though
alcohol and oil mix.
It's
To
more
a
for
certain extent.
it's more for dramatic
Hang on,
effect.
Hal.
than-
So-
Yes.
The point of it is we want to be able to breathe the fire on Golan's body so that we can send it off in that fire. That's the. It's just part of the ceremonial thing. It's not like.
If you've covered in oil and have if for it to ignite on the oil with enough oil in there and other few bits and pieces, then that's not an
That's
issue.
the point of the sprayer, to get the more continuous jet of it.
That's kind of like it's a symbolic act of it, I suppose. Okay.
You guys are way over engineering. You've just told me why in the first place.
No, that's why I was explaining why. I was like, just. a
Over
simple-
engineering is literally Imperius's thing.
Yeah, you know.
I feel like you'd look at Amber and be like, huh, okay, that's nice. And keep
Now,
going back to what
did I
were
tell
doing
you
anyway.
to record a gold piece amount of material that you've gathered, didn't I?
You never gave me the amount.
Okay. I'll say because it's a fairly chunky amount of stuff that was in the dwarven thing, so I'll say about $300. 300 gold pieces. $300. 300 gold pieces worth of materials, various. So I'm just going to say for this simple little device, you've used 5 gold pieces worth of materials.
Shouldn't I write it down, or we need a separate sheet for the bag of holding. But
He's got his backpack full of holding stuff. He probably actually does have some of it in the bag of holding because he just can't carry around.
Yeah, a lot of it was put into the bag of holding originally.
Alright, so I guess we're lighting the fire?
yeah,
I start preparing the fire properly.
Mhm.
I ask Amber to help lift him onto the top. And I
Oh,
start
good back.
using the silver dust to cast ceremony.
Yep.
So yeah, it's basically just a funeral rite. Just got some dead
Yep.
type things, blah blah blah. And then I would, but I'd be doing it in Celestial.
That's fine by me.
you can make it up.
It's celestial, man. It'll be like, oh.
It is. It sounds like someone singing. It actually does. That's what the language is like.
And bear in mind, the last funeral we did, Rowan spoke his shopping list in Elven, and since Amir wasn't there, no one could correct him.
It'll be more like, actually, now that I think about it, it'll be more like, oh, alrighty then.
Let's get down to business.
To the beat of the drum.
So basically,
You can say in Celestial, I'm sure God can understand Celestial as well as Draconic.
I understand both of those.
I'm talking about you. Oh, I must obey him suddenly. This explains much.
basically,
Fireball.
asking Bahamut and Kalimvor to guide this just soul into the Silver City, so he can start his next journey beyond the life that he had. And then I'm basically going to go, these people will speak for him, and then go around and be like, tell a story, or pass on the knowledge of your work.
He did what must be done.
You always care for everyone.
He stood as a shield against the light.
He punched me so hard I stopped being a horse.
I knew it!
And that you just go.
And you guys cover a lot of things after this.
He had quite a powerful slide. Yes.
He stood by my side, and I by his, as we fought for battles we both agreed on and others that we did not. But he was always honourable.
And he didn't like the cold.
But he liked his gold.
And that really weird bed I made him.
For someone who wasn't anything like this particular gentleman over here, he definitely had his honor. That's what I remember the most.
He did. He
For
was
someone who wasn't a paladin.
It's more, I was expecting him to be the paladin as much as you. But he was just a straight fighter coming from his little village. I hope one day that his village finds what they were looking for.
I hope he finds he's good.
I hope so too.
I think that would make him happy. I hope so as well.
Cannonball guide him. And at that point, I grab the torch and walk towards the fire, touching the torch and go, if you have anything to help, now is the time.
Amber would have given at least one of you guys one of the vials.
I've already thrown in the dagger he made, so I just say, my blade with you. And walk away.
He has like his plunger thing with a whole heap of oil into it to try and simulate breathing fire on this thing.
Roll if it explodes.
He already rolled for it, so
I rolled decently. I don't think it will explode.
he's not that incompetent.
It's not Amber.
A spray of oil and fire heads towards the pyre itself, just increasing the intensity of the actual fire itself as it starts to pick up.
Rowan knows he needs to maintain his calm, but because this is an important moment, but he's just like,
And I start casting the sacred flame.
Yep.
So flame from the heavens comes down.
Yep.
To
That's funny too, because it would be
add
that high.
intensity.
and once Rowan kind of calms down a bit, if there's any point like around the base of the Fiery Kingling that's not looking especially nurtured, he just like takes a breath and snaps his fingers and encourages it along because Druidcraft can actually light some fires.
It can. No, I shouldn't. You guys are really going to not play this part. As soon as you do that, remember those two burning eyes?
Yes.
They appear in the fire just for you. No one else can see this.
Rowan?
Rowan,
What?
Are you okay?
you kind of transformed a bit.
I don't like fire.
Yes,
Yes, but
please.
you're lighting it.
When you look at fire normally, you have a different face on your face.
Did these eyes just like appear and then disappear, or
Yeah, pretty much. They just appeared and disappeared.
Okay.
You have like a terror look, but right now you look like you've seen a ghost. It's different.
It's accurate.
A different face on your face.
Yes.
I saw the eyes again.
The eyes.
What eyes?
What do you mean?
You know that time on the boat?
No.
Yeah.
The boat?
Yes, on the big boat when we were coming here, there was that weird, all those dreams Well, and we saw those eyes that were just walking around the ship and in our heads.
Yeah.
Weren't those crows?
Yes, but it was all the same thing. It was all the same entity. It was causing the whole thing. It was the Raven Queen.
The three-eyed queen.
Are you saying the Raven Queen is here?
Yes.
Huh.
Where in the hell is Amir?
Huh.
Well, isn't
The Raven Queen is here?
I've seen her before too, in Baeliska.
Why?
You've seen it more than just Baeliska.
I know, but I don't recall the rest.
So how do you call the Raven Queen then to speak to her?
why would the Raven Queen even be here?
Don't
Amir's
know.
not here.
Death.
I don't know.
The Raven Queen's the goddess of death, isn't she?
Oh,
Sort of.
This is a funeral.
More of
she's the
the.
balance of life and death.
I think it's more of a case of she's
It's abyss.
No,
no of the what's the
of the veil kind of like
the
it's-
shadow veil, yeah. She's more of the shadow
No,
veil.
but
than
her
it
purpose as a deity or a god is she's like the gatekeeper of life and death.
Yeah.
She helps
Yeah,
people
yeah,
pass
no,
to the death.
Like the ferryman, as it were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Well, in that
But
case,
Emma doesn't know that.
In that case, he's gone where he should.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Well,
Do you know?
do you know anything of the Raven Queen?
Not sure.
All we can do is pray that he is on his right
You
path.
don't know anything about the Raven Queen?
is. Roll a
Being
religion
another
check.
death god? Probably not.
What you get? Tell me what you got.
7.
7. You've heard of the Raven Queen. It's pretty common, the Raven Queen.
Well, I'm also going to try and interpret any kind of religious significance because I'm actually trained in religion.
Mm-hmm.
So 19. First
You
roll the
definitely know who the Raven Queen is.
No, but like more so, why is she here?
The Raven Queen.
Yes.
You're making an assumption of why she's here at this present moment of time.
Yes.
You're making an assumption for the Raven Queen.
Correct.
So,
I
does him thinking about the Raven Queen present any insights as to whether or not this is the Raven Queen?
This does not seem anything like the Raven Queen at all. The eyes, if anything, this is more primal.
Oh.
Yolan said he saw an eye in the lump of coal he was holding.
Yeah, I think I was wrong.
Oh?
Wrong eyes.
Whose eyes then?
I don't know.
Yolan followed Behemoth's. It makes sense that he goes out with his eyes,
They're not dragon eyes.
aren't they?
Which ones?
The ones that I saw.
No, they're not dragon eyes.
They're not.
So what is the eye that Yolan saw then?
I don't know.
No one believed he saw the eye of Bahamut.
Which is the dragon, isn't it?
Your two eyes that you see are basically jets of flame that go out sort of like that way, and to anyone else they just like two jets of flame coming out that way. But you've seen them in the past, kind of like shrink as if they're like looking at you, and then widen and do eye things. You think they're eyes.
They're peering at you through the fire.
God.
You're under a lot of stress, Rowan. You sure you didn't imagine it?
No, I'm relatively confident.
Would it be easier to believe you did?
I don't like how you assume you can just. Oh.
What do you mean? I've lived long enough with paranoia to know that the barriers between what's real and what's not is often just in your head.
Well, don't convince me to lie to myself to make me feel better. That's not healthy.
We all lie to ourselves.
Would you like a pill? It's made of sugar.
I don't know.
Is that like candy?
No, I don't know. But you meant to like eat it and then pretend.
How long does
something
the
is
fire
kind of-
burn for?
We'd probably keep it going for a while.
Mhm.
Make sure his body turns to ash.
Mm.
And all of his things. Except probably the adamantium sword.
Alright.
That's in the tree.
Or any magic items he might have.
Oh.
One item I couldn't get. So his shield and everything would have been there. His longsword,
His axe.
his armor, his +1 hand axe, his +1 shield.
Actually, hang on.
I took the copper and bronze.
Yeah.
short
No,
sword.
actually, I let the short sword stay. Most of his stuff you couldn't get. So you couldn't get the his armor because it's too much, way too much for you to try and take
It was
that
way
out.
too heavy.
Shield probably wouldn't be too bad. You probably actually grabbed it yourself, realizing it was a magic shield. So I'm happy for you to do that.
Yep.
What else he had? You probably wouldn't have been able to know that his hand axe was magical, so you probably would have just discarded it. Because you would probably
Imagine if his short swords on his belt, his hand axe would have been left on there as well. So it'd probably be burning with him.
You've minimised the amount of stuff that you could possibly bring with you and had to discuss. The axe looked okay, but that sword looked like a lot
It was
fuller.
ornate.
It was very ornate, so you figured that maybe it's got some sort of importance that you figured that you should bring it with you. You couldn't just like pick up body with equipment on and then take him out. You left behind his backpack, everything that was in it. You left whatever you could leave behind. A lot of that stuff would have been taken away off when they, because
To
they
be
still have the
fair,
body.
most of his equipment was probably left at the inn.
Mm.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
But
true.
you're still doing it back there either. So.
No. But
No,
Amir
we
might
went
have
back
some
for
of
Fleet
it,
for
but
money.
Yeah, like Amir was probably sharing a room with Jordan, so.
Yeah, but most of the weapons that he was carrying, he's basically minimised as much as he could. So he would have left your longsword aside, would have left the hand axe because it was nice, but the ornate sword was a lot better, and you thought that might have had some importance. Left any daggers behind, left anything else behind.
I think his backpack would have been
Actually, no, you probably would have grabbed the hand axe because if you would have done a detect magic, which wouldn't have been too hard for you to do. So to help you find a body in the first place and do all that type of stuff, because you would have gone detect magic to see if there's any particular magic things cast on him, and then in doing so, you've gone, oh, he's got a magical axe, he's got a magical shield. So you grab the magical shield for yourself, which I have no problems with, and you also grab the hand axe because it was magical, you just don't know what. And you grab the ornate short sword because it was an ornate short sword, so it looked important, but everything else got left behind. The two-handed sword got left behind as well because while you understood what it was, you already started carrying too much stuff.
Yeah. Fair enough. Just curious. Was he taken out of his wrappings to go into the fire?
I don't know, was he?
No, you would most likely be.
I would have taken
Oh,
that.
you're right. Yeah? Okay.
Okay. Wherever the wrappings are, we're probably just really going to go and like poke around and see if we find something. He's trying to find a scale.
A scale?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too hard. Most of them are charred and burned, but yeah, you can find a scale.
Okay. Picks it up and pockets it. And
Backlash.
No.
That have stayed on the belt.
Actually, probably that's one of those things that was, if it was, because you wouldn't have taken your backpack along to the fight, so you would have probably left that in the cart, so it's probably still in the cart.
Ah.
The backpack.
Mm.
No
With
bag
the
of
bag
ash.
of ash.
the bag of ash.
Ah,
The bag of previous player.
It's the cursed item now. No one else touches it because they're gonna die.
to be fair, that was the first person to die. The person holding it next died.
Died, exactly. It started the chain of
I was gonna
curses.
say, really superstition might get his head.
I'm not superstitious, I'm just cautious.
Amber is
It's not
superstitious.
close to see paranoid.
Well, yeah.
For good reason. Dwarves do not trust the supernatural.
Not.
I wait until the fire is starting to burn down
You just
and
like
grab a handful of ash
Mm-hmm.
and rub it along the copper longsword and sheath it with the ash still on it so it fills the sheath.
Yep.
And we're still by the river.
Short sword, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Once all the talking and the pomp and ceremony finished, as the fire was burning, Rowan just walked off and tranced by the river. Because safe from fire. That's watching him, apparently.
While the fire is burning, I'm going to see if I can cast awry to see images on whether or not I should trust this group of ruffians.
What's the question you're going to ask?
Should I trust this group of
Cannonball, have I chosen the right path?
I think you should have turned up into the first.
Should have kept going to the river.
What's the answers I got to give? A woe and a... I forgot what the other one was.
A woe.
One more answer.
What is that?
What is the spell awry? I've never heard of it.
It's a divination one.
It's a divination spell.
Cool.
Cleric has a lot of divination spells. You can actually probably find what you're doing half the time now because you got a cleric in the group.
Wheel for good results. Woe for
Wheel
bad
and...
results.
Alright, so the answer for
Wheel
that
and woe
question
first.
is wheel and what? Yeah.
What's wheel?
Wheel and woe?
Mm-hmm.
So yes and no.
That's not helpful.
Wheel.
Thank you.
Wheel and woe.
Mm-hmm. How many questions can you ask? I thought 3. Or is it a time thing?
If you cast the spell 2 or more times before completing your next long rest, there's a cumulative 25% chance for each casting after that to just be a random reading.
But how many times can you ask a question?
I think
It's infinite, but it just gets less and less reliable.
No, this isn't limited per spell casting.
You receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Just the one then.
Yeah.
And more likely this spirit comes in of Glenvor, the mercenary, in not quite shining armor, looks at you and laughs.
Being laughed at by your god, that's gotta be humiliating.
Hey, at least you got a response.
Oh, true.
Yeah. At least you got a response.
This character.
I got talked to by a god unwillingly, and every time I willingly tried to talk to the gods, nothing.
I'm being stalked by a god that occupies fire.
What are gods?
Haven't seen me.
So I'm going to do my nightly prayers after that.
Alright. As I said, the body took a while to probably burn out before you did that, so it's reasonably late at night when you finish all up. You say your prayers and do whatever else you do for your nightly routine. Sorry? Marshmallows on his corpse as it's burning away.
No! No small squishies over the pipes.
Imperius is going to grab a vial with his dash.
Yep.
And going to do his best to.
The custom of the coal, grabbing one of the coals that's burned down. The family members would do that.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get me some vials too. You know what? I reckon you can help me out on this. I'm thinking to myself, as a last gesture of what Yarland's all about, you reckon you can put some of his ashes in some copper bullets for me?
Potentially, yes.
Pretty simple stuff. You just gotta melt down some copper, rub the ash in as far as I know, and then drop it from a large height.
Okay, I can do this.
Alright.
So once the fire's burned down, I go over, grab like a piece of coal from the last bits,
Mm-hmm.
and basically just rub.
What you do notice about the pyre once it's died down enough and got rid of the body as much as it can, that most of the skeleton is still there. Because you can't produce a fire hot enough with what you've got to get rid of the skeleton itself.
We bury the rest.
He also had fire resistance. This is the
This is
Supreme.
true.
Burning a gun with fire resistance.
Yeah, but it's their way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, have you started the fire yet? All right. Yeah, you spend some time, dig a hole, and bury the bones themselves.
I keep getting a character's name.
Okay.
I'll get there.
It'll take some time.
So the sheath is basically filled up with ash with the sword in it.
Okay.
Then.
Yep.
Do you intend to give that coal to the family?
Yes, if it is custom.
Good. I'm glad I was
Not
thinking
sure
on
what
the same
standard
path.
it is, but
I think between all of us we could figure it out, have an idea. He would speak
Can I take a history check
frequently,
on
but
the dream
vaguely
that
with his
we
family.
saw, if I know the rough geography from the dream to the real world?
What part of the dream?
The
Yolan's
giant battle.
Giant battle.
In his village.
Mm.
So
Didn't his
obviously it's going to be a hard history check. But
Yeah.
Didn't his village move?
Yeah.
Sorry?
yes, but they would
it would be close though.
yeah. They would still be within the same mountainous.
Yeah, they still within the same mountains area.
Oh, nice. 19 plus
Intelligence.
2. 21.
21. Okay, so you're trying to understand the vision of the battle.
Yeah.
In the dream. Is this the one that he was doing with his father type thing? Is it what you're talking about? That's his village where they originally were.
Exactly. So
He's
working
trying to
out
figure out
where would
where
that
he
be in the world?
That is, he's told you. I'm pretty sure he's told
No,
you.
he's never told anyone.
I've told multiple people.
Oh,
No, we all know where.
It's just somewhere in Kush.
Former lands of the DC.
No, okay.
Like we vaguely know
So
where.
the-
we don't know exactly.
The
where.
mountains of DC land, basically.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think I know the closest.
He wasn't actually, when you started this whole campaign, started in the lands of Carpathia.
Hmm.
The mountain range is essentially the one that runs along the eastern side of Carpathia. He's probably more on the Dragon Claw side of things, so basically on the other side in that
Oh,
particular
so
area.
not Kush, the eastern expanse.
Yes.
Deserts.
Is that right?
No.
Still Kush.
Kush is a jungle. It's southeast of Kush.
No, it's not Kush. No, it's not Kush. Kush is way, way south.
It didn't.
Anyway, we can
Whatever,
stitch
whatever,
that
we
later.
know.
Yes. It's all good.
I haven't seen the map in ages, so
That's all right.
I can't tell you.
It's on the drive. Oh, you've got it.
Do you mind if I take that piece of coal?
You are his family for what I have seen, so yeah.
It was you guys are Amber's family. Not that she would admit that to you guys, but you know.
You
She
have.
gets it. Huh?
I'm sure you have.
I'm more sad now.
It's done, we move on. Or sleep.
Yeah. Rowan is trancing already.
Alright, I sleep.
You sleep, you all fall asleep in your own little way, and you move on.
Amber's gonna get Rowan to do her braids and put new flowers in her hair.
And she's going to San Francisco.
Going to San Francisco. You wake up in the morning and you set yourselves up for the day ahead.
Rowan uses his dreams to his trance in a healthy way to compartmentalize, in an unhealthy way to bury bad memories as deep as they'll go. So,
Compartmentalizing isn't healthy in the first
Yeah, the
place.
bookcase. I love the bookcase.
if people hadn't noticed that every time a traumatic or scary thing happens and Rowan feels awful at night, in the morning when he wakes up, he always has a lot more enthusiasm and vigor because he just like...
Inside Rowan's head is box marked. It's fine.
You didn't open that box!
This is fine.
Everything is
Is it
fine.
surrounded by a ring of fire?
This is all fine.
Or is the fire inside the box?
Quite possibly.
And you've named the box Pandora.
So yes, he wakes up with newfound enthusiasm at the thought of going to the Fey
The
Forest.
Fey Forest, yes.
He's very excitable about this.
What should we know about the Fae, Rowan?
We should bring our own firewood
Why?
because all you humans and all that love making fires. But if you burn fire, if you burn wood that was in the Fey Forest, that came from the Fey Forest, it's gonna be a bad time.
Maybe we should just go without fire for a few nights then.
That's it. Also, don't get mad at the pixies.
Pixies?
Those pixies.
Why? What do they do?
All kinds of things.
Oh, fuck.
It's fine.
Just muttering under my breath. Goddamn fucking pixies.
It's all just jokes. It's jokes. It's just jokes. It's fine. So yes.
Rowan, the Fae make me very uncomfortable.
Don't they all?
Emma, everything makes you very uncomfortable.
That's not true.
Death makes you uncomfortable. Zombies make you
No,
uncomfortable.
death is
Fae makes
fine.
you uncomfortable.
Undeath is not
Weed
okay.
trees make you uncomfortable.
Well, that's because it's not
To
natural.
be fair, death and zombies are basically the same thing.
No.
No. Death is fine. Death is normal. It is a normal process of life.
There's rumors of ghosts make you uncomfortable.
Undeath is not okay.
I didn't say
It is
it was.
unnatural.
Yeah.
One should not exist beyond the plane of life.
You won't.
Wait.
You won't find much undeath in a Fey Forest.
No, but there's
unless-
lots of things that are tricky and not quite right. And I
Pixies
don't
are
like it.
natural, so
Tricks.
that means you should be happy.
Tricks I like.
It all makes
No.
makes sense if you're me.
Fine, let's go then. You can be our guide.
Just I need a promise from you all right now.
Mm.
If I tell you to specifically do something or not do something, you have to do it without question. Okay? I will have a very good reason. Don't worry.
I trust you, Rowan.
I don't.
Hey, you should have friends.
It's fine. It's just like so. If,
I
so,
consider Ray a friend, and I still don't trust him.
so
Why not?
So-
I'm with Antoine on this. I don't trust me either.
I know you. Really, I know you. You are odd.
Changeable is the
I'm odd.
If you see, or even don't see a pixie, and then just walking along, he's Larry, and then you start to feel very dizzy, or you fall asleep, or you fly up into the air uncontrollably, don't react negatively.
Okay, I promise I won't anger the pixies.
Yes.
Question, Rowan.
Yes?
You point at things, do they die?
Depends on the thing.
I mean, like, I remember this story when I was a little... When I was younger...
Littler than you are now. What?
Shut up. That's why I stopped
They start off as a
Younger.
tennis ball.
When I was younger...
Whatever, let's go.
That if I pointed things too often, fairies will die. Are fairies and pixies the same?
I think if you point too hard, you might lose the finger.
Okay.
Right, so no
It's-
pointing.
yes.
Okay.
It's fine. It's just
Just grand gestures. Look, it's over there. What's that?
no. Just
Oh.
always
Tomato
point with at
too
least
much.
2 fingers.
It's too big for their mouth.
Jesus, bad.
They're pixies. One's too big for all of them.
Then how would you lose it?
They carry swords.
Then how is 2 fingers going to stop?
Because it's twice as much finger.
Oh
we're
shit,
being
we're
looked at
fucking
by media.
screwed.
It's also more polite.
What, 2 fingers?
Yes.
Authority.
No, point is 2 fingers. That's very... I'm an archer, that hurts.
Let's go.
Okay,
I thought you were a druid.
I have a bow as well.
I was going to say, he's French. If anything, it should hurt him more.
Alright, fine, let's just go.
Alright. For expedience, you guys decide to travel. So it's about 4 or 5 days to travel to the forest, and you've already been traveling for a couple of days. So It's about 3 more days before you get to the edge of the forest.
Skip that.
Pretty much.
During that time, I would like to craft a small vial to put the ash in, not glass one, but like copper or something.
Yep.
And attach it to the back of Yolan's old amulet to Bahamut.
Okay, yep. Well, so I won't make you roll for that, so that should be fine.
I can also help with that.
So
I have
I'm
supplies.
going to definitely spend my time to make sure it's done well.
That's fine. There's no problem. There's not really
Amber also
any
has the
drama.
tools and supplies to do that if you need help.
So-
Jordan's blacksmithing tool would be in his bag.
Keep going, come on,
I
guys.
spent the 3 days with Rowan saying what the berries and mushrooms and stuff can we like take with us
And
into the forest.
effectively, the answer of in the forest is don't touch anything.
No, there's a different reason. There's a different reason.
Need to take food with us.
Why?
Foraging. Foraging.
Like, what else are you going to do?
He's the cook!
Okay.
So, like, I assume it get like the plant growth gets progressively denser as we get
Yes.
closer. So it would get easier to just like point at the thing.
Can you do me a... Let's do a survival check, actually, as you're near the forest.
11.
Yeah, seems alright. Seems like a typical Fae forest. Sometimes the Fae, if they like you, will then leave you behind trails to creatures that are close to dying and can be hunted and eaten. That need to be either taken out of their misery in some cases or healed in some cases, so you're going to make those choices when you get there type thing. But there are certain scenarios when they have no problems with you taking the animals from the forest because it's their time. A lot of the time, there's usually berries and bushes that they have generally no problems with you taking from. And every once in a while, if you're done right by the forest, you wake up sometimes in the morning with just food just appearing.
So we tie up Ridley.
Grabbing everything into a bag.
I'll behave.
Oh, we just found it to the front of the cart, yeah?
Every time that happens, or they start picking up berries and like things like Amber just literally pays attention for like 10 seconds and goes, "Ooh, would that be good for a potion? What does it do?"
Makes it more regular.
No, never mind.
No, I think that would be a very good potion.
However, two things.
Just like randomly pipes in like for 2 seconds and then leaves them to their thing.
Alright, so actually probably three things now I think about it. First, I'm going to end the night there as we head into the Fae Forest. Secondly, is there anything you want to do before we head into the Fae Forest in these last 3 days, which some of you already mentioned?
Maybe.
Well, we need to collect firewood if we're going to have a fire.
Assuming collecting some extra wood and stuff like that, and you're travelling it in the thing.
Not for like big fires, just like tiny fires.
I'm gonna.
Camp
Oh look,
fires.
the typical thing that like if there's dead trees in the area, you're fine to use those. Just don't chop down live trees. Is the general Fae thing.
And like, even if there's a big enough dead log, like a fairy or a pixie could live in there, or even an animal. So who knows? Just
It's basically just keep an eye out when you do things in there.
Yeah.
Can I take the Kurosakana off the chain so it's just back to a dagger for the moment?
Yep,
Or
sure.
is that something that actually requires some serious work?
A
To
little
take
bit.
it on and off the chain.
You can't. It's not designed in such a way where you can just take it off and on. So if you're going to take it off, you're essentially going to have to cut through one of the links.
Yeah, and then reform a new link around it if I need.
Correct.
I won't bother.
Alright, so you still get your Kasura and Garment. Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to do at all? Anything else?
Amber did want to have a conversation with Imperius like ages ago. I guess it's probably been the best or the only chance that they've had in a long time to actually just sit and
This
chat.
is what this whole episode was all about. What did you want to talk to him about?
Where would you be?
Probably in the car, working on the thing
Okay.
for the whole trip.
At some point, Amber will join him in the car and just like poke around like, so what are you doing?
Just making something to help me remember.
Remember? What are you trying to remember?
Yo, this is his symbol to Bahamut. This is his god.
Is it something I could help with?
Potentially. What have you got, tools wise?
No, have an etching kit for metal and stone.
That would be perfect.
And I have a makeshift smithy mason kit.
The etching kit would be good. We can
And I have
carve some draconic runes into it.
And I have some ore as well. Wonderful. I'd really like to help. Also, I know it's been a little while now, and I figure this is actually probably a conversation that happens over the course of her helping.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just have the conversation.
I know Yoland and Antoine is quite holy with their gods and things, but why did you turn away from your god?
That is a hard question. It is when I needed them, my god, the most. They were not there. It's not that I do not believe that they have no power. I mean, we can see the power of the gods around us all the time. But they were not there for me.
I don't know what to make of all of this. The gods have been there for me at moments where I desperately needed them, but never at the times when I asked. And I'm so confused.
Yes, well, I find that seems to be their way.
I don't understand. I'm here today only because God decided to meddle with my life and not let me pass beyond the veil.
When did this happen?
Oh, when we were fighting the raid, and our friend passed. Well, acquaintance, I guess.
Never forget.
I didn't know it for long. We knew it for like 3 days.
His name was Euron.
Urine.
Yeah, but Amber doesn't really refer to people by name very often.
Quick reference for those who are watching or listening in. That was his wild mage
Tiefling.
sorcerer.
He was
Tiefling.
the first
Party death. When they all decided to loot a tomb, a crypt.
He survived 2 whole sessions. Regardless.
You have not spoken about this before.
I have. Briefly, poorly, probably not quite as sober as I am now. It still hurts.
Do you recall anything from it? A name, a feeling?
No, I remember only a brilliant light and waking up.
It's a shame you could not remember more, and I may have been able to help you with it.
Well, I felt the life drain from me from the rain. I felt its cold grip upon my life, upon my essence, my soul. And then it struck me, and I fell. And the light engulfed me. And then all of a sudden I was awake to you all, and not where I thought I should be.
You felt nothing else, no presence.
No, and then from there, all of a sudden, every time I attack people when I'm very, very angry, I seem to do extra harm to people. And sometimes it is light, and sometimes it is not so light.
It seems you are channeling the power of some divine.
Yes, but I don't believe in a god. I don't follow a god. I've never been religious. I've been a worker.
Perhaps we could look into this
Creative.
more and work out who this is that is guiding your power.
I would like to understand. And I'm even more confused. When we were in the Dwarven Mines, I was visited in the, well, not flesh, but in the likeness of flesh, by Moradin, the Dwarven god.
You actually saw him.
Yes, he came to me and he specifically told me he was not the god that saved my life. So I don't understand. What is... Yes, he...
Well, Moradin is definitely a dwarven god.
yes,
So he would look after you in some form, but...
He asked for me to do a favor for him, to help him be remembered. Or, you know, to try and... I think people are not believing, and when they don't believe, they lose their power? Is that how this works?
Or history or religion for that?
That's what Amber understands from her
You
conversation.
can do both if you want, and depending on what you roll and what you get for each one, we'll give you an answer.
For religion, it was a 22. For history, it's 8.
Religious says no, that's not true. They're powerful beings. We follow them like Notamara.
No.
It's probably the only thing that religion tells you at this stage, because there are so many gods that it's kind of like you can't follow us all, but you pick the god that suits what you do and who you are the most, and from that you will have peace from the gods.
It may not be that a god has chosen you. It may be that even if you do not know it yet, you have a connection with a god. You need to find what drives you.
Me?
And which god values the same teachings.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work.
It is not something I really wish to connect with again, but I may be able to help you, or a cleric and paladin friends may be able to help more so.
Maybe. Maybe when this is all done. I don't know. It feels inappropriate to ask at this time.
Now is probably a good time to try and connect.
I guess so. Did you know that Moradin imbued my body?
You did say something of this down in the lines.
Yes.
He did what to your body?
Well, see here. You notice this?
I'm assuming that's the
It's a
symbol.
tattoo of Moradin on her arm. He left me with a mark and empowered my axe with the ability to call upon him in a time of need, and it was to fight the constructs.
Then I suggest you better learn the teachings of Moradin.
But
I know a little bit. I could teach you some. Perhaps the cleric knows more.
But should I not follow the god who saved me?
But you have no way of knowing who it is.
I suppose that's true. I'm just so conflicted. And
If you like, I can spend some time with you and teach you Moradin's ways.
I would appreciate that. I have a little bit of understanding, just basic dwarf stuff, but I guess I never really paid attention in religion class.
Religious instruction. Ari.
Ari.
I think for the rest of that, Imperius would go over the different...
Yeah, you'd probably go through tenets of the Hollywood different gods that you
We'd
know.
spend a lot of time talking about all the things that had gone on, and Amber would keep telling him as sporadically as she does, like, really weird, disjointed way, all the details. You'd eventually get all the details of what happened with the Moradin fight and things like that.
Over time, you probably have other conversations with people who's talking, because it's not something you keep quiet too much.
No, it's not like we're trying to be subtle about the conversation. I'm just helping Imperius make the little vial, so implicitly, like, that's just sort of...
You know, the thing about the gods is, from what I've seen so far,
Hi!
this is like another, say, like at the next day conversation
Oh, okay.
type thing.
Like at the campfire or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about the gods, from what I know of, like I've heard the conversations inside the thing, is that there's always like one god who thinks like you're the best of shit to represent who they are to the nth degree. And they're really pissed off at you because you don't follow them, you follow some other piece of shit.
So that doesn't help my dilemma.
Who are you?
Well, Amber Iron Fist, of course.
Who are you, though?
A dwarf.
That's a thing. Who are you?
I'm me.
And what is me?
She just gestures.
I think that's what you need to figure out who your god is.
To have freshly braided everything.
Rowan,
She's so pretty.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a creature of rage, frustration, but at the same time, I see this uncanny kindness and love for the others in this place.
I guess I'm very driven by my emotions.
There's a lot of gods out there that are very driven by their emotions. Like the Stormlord is very emotionally driven.
What? Who? What?
The Stormlord, you remember we're back on the ship when we were traveling out to some port and that weird storm that we came up against?
Yeah, that was
Stormlord, full of emotion. That's an angry god, that one.
Oh my, that seems a little bit violent for me. I mean, I know.
Oh my god!
It's like the whole group just looks at you.
Hey, look, I know I get angry from time to time, but like,
Antoine falls off the cart laughing so hard.
that's not what I meant. She realized like, no, you know what I mean. I mean, unnecessarily and over the top. Oh god, it does sound like me.
meanwhile, I pull out the bow, the longsword, and the hammer I got from the prison cells. And I chuck Rowan the bow and say, your old one looks like shit. It's going to break soon. Here, you want a hammer or a sword?
As you say this, I think the two brothers are having a conversation. Rowan's holding a sprig of mistletoe and says, now, very important distinction. Don't eat this. Then he casts Goodberry with the sprig of mistletoe as a material component. Do eat this. and he shows you a handful of Goodberries.
Hang on, what? So, don't eat the thing in your hand, but eat the thing that your hand makes.
Yes.
No.
Tosses the mistletoe over his shoulder. Oh yes. Hello.
There's a crack in your old longbow. Take this one.
I made that longbow.
This one's better. That one looks like it's going to break.
How old is this?
I made it a few weeks ago.
It's not as well made as you could possibly do.
Wasn't that the shabby one that came out of the tree?
Yeah, it's the one.
I grew it out of a tree and I carved it.
I mean, like, no, like, out of character. Like, was it? Yeah, okay.
I rolled a 19 to craft that, if I recall correctly.
That's right, you did too, yeah.
You're not a crafter, though.
Yeah, but I'm a wood elf. We pull weapons out of the trees. It's what we do. So he's like holding this other one, just comparing the two.
Anyway, it's pretty good quality. You use maces or swords?
Maces.
You want this one? It looks pretty good.
I am fine with mine for now.
Guard captain's mace, Antoine.
Sure.
Chuck in the mace and just pith the longsword over my shoulder.
He's just like he puts the bow under his arm and like feels out the other one.
Where was the longbow from?
The 3 weapons were from the chest.
Ah, that's right. Up
next
on the
to-
ones that that's ones that I said were actually put up on the wall.
Yeah,
The
so
ones that actually look like they were something interesting.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait, so the bow was like really, really nice.
It's just
Oh,
a nice,
yes.
it's a nice artwork
a
into it. It's
nice
nice, been nicely carved
Does
and
it
stuff
require
like
some identification?
that.
Why not identify them? I chuck all 3 weapons in front
Might
of
as
me.
well.
I put all 3 weapons in front of you. Anything good?
You cast detect magic, none of them are magical.
Yes, I did.
No. You assume you're going to cast Detect Magic first to see if it's actually worthwhile.
It's a ball.
This is a bow, this is a hammer, and this is.
Well,
What's the difference?
it's inherently impractical to carry two bows at once.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, you could string them both over your back.
One
Wouldn't be too
longbow.
bad.
Lash them together and then draw them both.
For the time being, Rowan will put this like
No. You just hold them in like a cross pattern in the throat.
like he'll put the
Put an arrow in each of the cross and 4 arrows and
he'll put the nice longbow away, but realize that going into a fey forest, a bow you made yourself is going to carry a lot more style points
Yes.
than one that's like manufactured.
That's true. As I said, those particular weapons are just nicely crafted weapons. They're essentially worth double than what they are in a player's handbook. So they're worth a bit of coin.
they look nice. Alright, well, whoever wants them, take them, because I'm not keeping them in the bag. Simply because I'm running out of space and it is a
I will
useful
grab the
item.
long sword as a just in case thing.
And can I unload all of the Balant plates onto the cart?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
You're probably getting it to a point when someone else is now going to lose a sleeping spot.
Don't care.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Let's-
fine.
I
Most
sleep
of us
outside.
sleep outside anyway.
Yeah.
I sleep outside. Amir's not here.
We can just strap it to the cart.
We can strap it on top.
Yeah.
In fact, can we strap it around the sides of the cart?
Okay.
Can we
For-
increase
for-
the cart's
for- okay.
armor class?
Stop. For the purposes of everything you're doing, you can't just like go, it's an endless, just chuck everything on the cart and everything's fine. It doesn't quite work
No,
like
because
that.
the ox
extra
can only
weight.
carry so much.
Correct. So
Yeah.
you will have to spend some time to sort of wrap it around the cart and whatnot, which you've got 3 days to do it, so I don't have that much of a problem. It might increase the armor class if it ever comes to the
Do we
equation,
really need it?
but you don't really have enough plates to cover the whole thing all that much.
Oh,
So.
we've got 4 dinner plates that we can stick on
But
each wheel.
No.
You can, for the purposes of transport, just strap them to the outside of the cart. You can do that. That's not a
Yeah,
problem.
but
We'll
we've
work
got,
on armor later.
we've got 7 dinner plates and 2 really long big ones, so I reckon we make a sniper tower for on the front of the cart. Just have like
Alright.
Surveillance.
Sorry, there was something else I was going to do as we were going along, but I'm happy you guys had that conversation because I was actually waiting for that conversation to happen, so I'm glad you had it.
I'm curious about one more thing quickly. We kept one of the ram horns of the Manticore.
Correct.
I didn't expressly write it in my character sheet, so the assumption was.
As far as I know,
was-
it's been attached to the card itself.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was still in the cart.
Yep.
Okay, good.
We
Yeah,
attach it to
I'm
the top of the
happy
cart.
for that type of stuff to still be on the card, yeah. I mean, like, if it comes to a thing where you start annoying me with it and doing weird things with it, it's like, oh, suddenly it disappears.
But it was more kind of it was in guard custody. So I'm not sure if they take
we need 2 more.
They
sheets.
probably just looked at it awkwardly and went, "What the hell are these
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
doing?"
Just
To be fair, they probably looked at everything in the cart. And
Yeah, I was
went,
gonna say there's
okay.
beds,
Alright.
but then there's that.
So, before we finish off for the night, we actually managed to make it to 10 o'clock. I thought I could finish a bit earlier, but the last thing for the night, level 7.
More spells.
Bam!
I can't.
Forest friends!
I get.
I can conjure pixies now!
I get.
Oh, God, no! What are you doing to us? Tim, I love you!
You're allowing him to do this as we're about to go into the fate forest. So he's
Oh, you have no idea what I've got planned.
Oh, I have an idea there. This is going to only end badly.
I get a full spells!
Where do I get level 7?
I like to think of the counterfeit culture.
Yes, you are level 7, so you are now, if you are a pure druid, you're into level 4 spells.
Oh yeah, I have an advantage on initiative rolls.
There you go.
And if I'm
Really?
surprised
Yep.
at the beginning of combat,
pretty
I
good.
can't be incapacitated.
So
What?
level 2 is key.
If I'm raging,
No.
I can't be
Yeah.
If you're surprised and aren't incapacitated,
Oh,
you can act normally on your first turn.
ah!
But only if you enter your rage before they're doing anything on that turn.
Yeah, so I have to rage.
Yeah,
So I
but
rate
it's
immediately.
still really good.
It's a reaction, I think.
Yeah.
So I gain another 7 hit points. It's pretty great.
Unarmored movement and key.
The druid is the only one who's gone a pure class. Like, So there's the only one to see that, and you get the level 4 cleric spells. Level 4 cleric spells are sort of meh, except that at level 4 you can summon your spiritual hammer at the next upgrade.
Yes.
But stone shape.
What do you mean pure? I'm pure. I'm just barbarian.
There you go. That's why I thought you could take dodge actions as bonus actions, because you can in Monk as a key point.
Yes, I knew that as a key point.
That's why I
which you
fucked
don't
up.
get until now.
Now.
Now you get them because you're going to go level on monk.
Yeah. Oh, and my speed goes up by 10.
Yes.
Which is pretty
We
sweet.
can do all that type of stuff after. I know, I'm happy for people to chat about them.
divination, so.
Yes. I know all those spells because my cleric had them too, so.
Oh, and control water.
There's a lot of really
I
good
can-
stuff
I
at level
can
4,
do
just not
it.
combat wise.
Yeah.
Okay. I can
But most
cast
of the-
ice storm.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the good cleric stuff comes earlier and then later.
Yeah,
Spell-
this is
combat wise.
This is a big jump in power.
Conjure.
Seven.
Not
And
for
then
me,
level 8 as well.
unfortunately.
Level 8 not as
We
much,
get
but level 8
ability skill,
then,
don't we?
for those who have cured, yes.
I go hammer level 8, by the way. I can turn it
Oh, that's
into
right, that's when
flying
you get to
things.
flying things,
And,
yes.
and things that are challenge rating 1.
Mm.
And I get to take Warcaster, which means I can have advantage on my concentration saves.
Correct.
So when I get level 8, it's going to be a big.
I also get 4th level
I
spell.
need to look through to get my.
I forgot, I also get a 4th level spell at level 7.
You took Bard though, I thought
Oh, yeah, sorry.
you'd be
No,
short.
I'm thinking next level.
Wait, but you're pure spellcaster.
Yes.
So
Oh, wait, hang
You
on.
use-
It's
you
5
use
plus
the-
Constitution, not 8 plus
Yeah.
Constitution.
No, he's actually right.
Yeah,
You don't
I-
get access to level 4 spells,
But
but
I
you can
have-
cast fourth level
yeah,
spells.
but you got a slot at the very least.
Which means I can cast at a 4th level,
Correct, yeah.
which is very helpful.
I get one more second level spell slot.
I did it as my Paladin Druid combination, so because I'm level 6 Paladin in my other game, and level 4, so level 10 at the moment. Level 4 Druid and level 6 Paladin, which essentially becomes a level 7 caster, which means I get to cast up to level 4 spells. However, being that I'm only level 4 in Druid and only level 6 in Paladin, I've only got access to level 2 spells in both of those. However, because of being a Paladin, I just like Smite level 3, Smite
Wait.
level 4, Smite level 3, Smite level 4.
Wait, you said that you only have access. Wait, so
Okay, so a level 6 Paladin only has access to level 2 spells.
How do you
As the
work out your
maximum.
hit dice?
Wait, as a level 4 Druid,
once you
you
hit
also
those-
only get access to level
Yeah.
2 Druid spells.
Yeah.
So it's
No.
it's
Level
half
4 Druid only gets access to
plus
level
your
2 spells,
constitution
yes.
modifier.
you can
So
prepare
I'm
spells.
No, I think it's
for
actually
any-
5 plus your constitution
You can
modifier.
prepare whatever spell you want.
Yeah.
You don't need to have this
Because we're not doing the roll for
the
it.
spell slots to
No,
prepare.
not hit points, hit
So you
dice.
can-
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm
Dice.
talking about because
So
I'm a
so
level
second.
4
So
Druid,
second.
I will not have access to level 3 Druid spells because I'm a level 5 Druid.
Okay, sure.
And same with the Paladin. I have to get to high level Paladin before I can get to the high level Paladin
God,
spells.
another bad
But
level.
because of the way multi-class works, you actually take the multi-class spell progression.
Yeah.
Which means I am equivalent at level 10, level 6, which is a level 6 Paladin, and level 4 Druid. I'm equivalent of a level 7 Spellcaster, which is
Because
level
you're
3,
half a
level
Paladin.
correct, which is level 3, level 4 spells. But I don't have any access to them yet because I'm not high enough at those levels for both those classes.
Well,
I have Deathward now too.
unfortunately, it's next level that's fun. This one's just like, eh.
Oh god, what is this?
Yes, your Paladin Warlock. Warlocks work differently. Warlocks, because of the way they cast their
Right.
spells, actually are not don't use that equation. Essentially, they actually act as two separate classes for the purpose of spellcasting.
Oh my god, I can't cast them all at once, but at the very least, I'm going to write down my.
It's good to see you, Romney, at the very last moment, by the way, unless you've been
Yes,
tuning in or
hello
something.
and welcome and hi.
And goodbye.
And goodbye.
Dual classing is, I didn't realise how much of an incredibly bad idea it is to do monk second as
Why is
opposed
that?
to rogue second. Because the first couple of levels of monk
Mm.
don't really mesh with other classes, they really only mesh with itself. So if you've already got levels and stuff, things like the martial arts is only D4s, which
Yes.
means shit all.
Oh, it's
But if you took monk first, that would be really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But if you go rogue secondary, you immediately get sneak attack, which is awesome
Yeah,
off the bat. So It would have been better to do monk first, rogue second, simply because it would have worked nice.
That's what happens when you don't
Yeah.
play D&D in the past.
Yeah, but it gives me really weak levels. So this is the second wasted level just to get through the.
Yes. Eldritch,
Sucks.
all cantrips do scale according to the level of the character, not the combined level of whatever classes they take.
Mm.
Anyway, we're going to say goodbye because these guys are probably going to sit here and up level their characters because they like doing that type of stuff.
Done.
Me too.
Oh, you're easy.
Yeah, but I get garbage.
Actually, fifth edition leveling is actually so much more easier in this system than it is in the other system.
Yeah, just work out your health.
Yeah, pretty much.
Movement speed boost of 10 points is probably the best.
And you also
thing.
now get to actually use key points. Yeah.
But on what?
Well, you've got 2, and you can basically utilize your bonus action to go defensive straight off the bat.
Yeah, I get.
As an
disengage.
example.
I've got disengage already, so I'm usually going to step out of combat anyway.
True.
So,
That's where you get your flurry of blows comes in.
which does 2d4
Can
as
you-
opposed to 1d4.
Can't
No, you
catch-
didn't read the right. When you do your flurry of blows, you use your bonus action to get 2 extra attacks.
Yeah, or I can use my bonus action to do an unarmed attack anyway. So
No,
it's
I think
one-
we've been doing that wrong, so I've got to check that out.
No, it is. With martial arts, if you use a monk weapon or an unarmed attack, you can use your bonus action to get an extra attack unarmed.
Okay, well then, I think I
So
can
it's
use 2.
one extra unarmed
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
attack, which being monk, taking it, this is still only 1d4, so it's still
I
garbage.
forgot. Now I can supercharge my healing
You're running the
because my origin feature.
What was that one?
At 6th level, I get my origin feature, which now I'm 6th level sorcerer.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
So
That's what
I can use
sort of
meta
like
magic to max out my healing.
House.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I know exactly.
So when you
what you're talking
heal,
Mark will
I can go one. I can
Anyway,
use
we
meta magic
keep
to
saying
get
goodnight,
rid of-
everyone. Thank you all for coming along.
That's
We shall see you
Bye.
next week as they enter into the Fey Forest.
And we can like update you on all our character updates
Bye,
later.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
So, for example, if I use